All right, so we give praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. Shalom, shalom. Let's pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life. If they are they which testify of me, and you would not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. To come my Abba's name, you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you. The Abba, there's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All esteem and praise to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 12. Shalom, Jay. Peace, Brother Joseph, man. Looking forward and hastening to the coming of the day of Elohim, when the Shamahims being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for a new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwell righteousness. Wherefore, beloved, seeing that you look for such things, be diligent, that you may be found of him in shalom, without spot and blameless, and account the long suffering of our Lord salvation, even as our beloved brother Paul, also according to the wisdom given unto him, have written unto you. Also in all epistles, speaking in them these things, which are some things hard to be understood, which they that unlearned and unstable rest, as also the other scriptures, unto their own destruction. Shalom, Mama Steph. So let's get over here to Philippians. Shalom, Brother Margaret, man. Back over here in Philippians 1, verse 9. And this I pray you, that your love may abound yet more and more in knowledge and in judgment, in all judgment, excuse me, that you may approve the things that are excellent. Shalom, Brother Robert. That you may be sincere and without offense until the day of Hamashiach. Now I want you to look at, what does he mean to approve the things that are most excellent? First thing first is we're going to look at approve. Peace, Brother Omar, man. And that is doc and nadzo, to test, to examine, prove, shalom, Mika, to scrutinize, to see something whether it's genuine or not, to recognize it's genuine after examination, to prove worthy or to discern. So we're going to see it basically saying that we may show forth the things that are real excellent. And what is excellent? No, Joanne. I keep telling you no. No. Get from under there. No. No. You can't do that. The apparel. To bear through any place, to carry different ways. In this instance, it's to also to differ, to test, to prove. The good things that differ, to distinguish between good and evil, lawful and unlawful, to approve of the things that excel, to differ from one another. What it excels of that which surpasses. Shalom, Brother Ernest, man. So when you look at that, we're going to be able to discern between that which is good and evil. We're going to take a trip to Malachi chapter 3, where a statement of similar instances made. This is going to go back to tying into what we talked about with judgment, of having a mind that the rectitudes of judgment, correct thinking, the determining between what is right and what is wrong. After Malachi 3, 1 John chapter 3. Malachi chapter 3 and verse 13. Your words have been stout against me, saith Yahuwah, yet you have said, we have spoken against you. Say, what have we spoken, against you? You have said it is vain to serve Elohim. What profit that we have kept his ordinance, and that we have walked mournfully before Yahuwah of hosts. And now we call the proud happy, and yea, they that work wickedness are set up. Yea, they that tempt Elohim are even delivered. Then they that feared Yahuwah spake often one to another, and Yahuwah hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared Yahuwah and thought upon his name. And they shall be mine, saith Yahuwah of hosts, in that day, when I will make up my jewels, and I will spare them as a man spare his own son that serve him. Then shall you return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serve Elohim and him that serve him not. Now, I think it could be discerned here, could be B'nai one more time. Let's see. This one here is Ra'ah. Rosh, Aleph, and Hay. It's to see, to look, to inspect, to perceive, to consider, to look after. Now, when you take into account that you got those who are proud, who tempt God and they're delivered, they saying, what profit are you going to get? And then he says, though, you have those who hearken one to another. And they feared the name of Yahuwah. Well, they spake one to another. Now you have to make a determination and look between who's of God and who is not. So let's go to 1 John chapter 3, and you can pick it up at verse 1 on general principle. First John chapter 3, verse 1. Behold, what manner of love hath the Father bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of Elohim. Therefore the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not. So pause. We're going to deal with that aspect that John is speaking of. What manner of love that he hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. Say the world didn't know him. John 17. John 17 and 21. That they all may be one as you, Abba, in me, and I in you. That they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that you have sent me. And the esteem which you gave me, I have given them, as they may be one, even as we are one. I and them, and you and me, that they may be made perfect in one. That the world may know that you have sent me and have loved them as you have loved me. Abba, I will that they also, whom you have given me, be with me where I am, that they may behold my esteem which you have given me, for you have loved me before the foundation of the world. O righteous Abba, the world have not known you, but I have known you. And these have known that you have sent me. Now, he's saying that they haven't known him. Well, what is it that they haven't known? Shalom, Airman. When he says they haven't known him, what is it that they haven't known? Let's come over here to Jeremiah chapter 9. You can pick it up at verse 1. Jeremiah 9 and Jeremiah 22. Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 1. Oh, that my head were waters and my eyes a fountain of tears, that I might weep day and night for the slain of the daughter of my people. Oh, that I had in the wilderness a lodging place of wayfaring men, that I might leave my people and go from them, for they're all adulterers and assembly of treacherous men. Now that's wild. Now they said that everybody out there sleeping with other men's wives and are liars. They bend their tongue. They're bold for lies, but they are not valiant for the truth upon the earth, for they proceed from evil to evil, and they know not me, saith Yahuwah. Take you heed every one of his neighbor, and trust you not in any brother, for every brother will utterly supplant. Every neighbor will walk with slanderers, and they will deceive every one his neighbor, and they will not speak the truth. They have taught their tongue to speak lies, wear themselves to commit iniquity. Your habitation in the midst is in the midst of deceit, and through the deceit they refuse to know me, saith Yahuwah. So one of the aspects that we look at that he said that the people were not able to know him is through deceit. So when he's saying, Abba, the world have not known you, but I have known you, it's deceit that's stopping them from doing it. But hold on. There's more. Jeremiah 22. and 11. For thus saith Yahuwah touching Shalom, the son of Josiah, Malachah Yehuda, who reigned instead of Josiah his Abba, who went forth out of his place. He shall not return thither any more, but he shall die in the place whither they have led him captive, and he shall see this land no more. Woe unto him that build his house by unrighteousness, and his chambers by wrong, who you his neighbor service without wages, and give him not for his worth. That saith, I will build me a wide house and large chambers, and cut him out windows, and it is sealed with cedar and painted with vermilion. Shall you reign because you have clothed yourself in cedar? Did not your Abba eat and drink and do judgment and justice? Then it was well with him. He judged the cause of the poor and needy. Then it was well with him. Was not this to know me, saith Yahuwah? So according to verse 15 and 16, what is it to know Yahuwah? To do judgment and justice. Notice he said to judge the cause of the poor. What's the key component? One of the aspects to know Yahuwah is to do judgment or right rectitude, having the right frame of mind, making the right choices and decisions according to his righteousness. Of course, it is here is Mishpat Tzedakah in verse 15, and to judge the cause of the poor and the needy. Judge is din, but is to contend or to plead, to act as a judge or to minister judgment or to serve that which is right as it pertains to the cause of the poor. Cause in this instance again is din, dalet, and nun. What are the aspects where you can see that the scribes and Pharisees did not know him? Where's that at in Luke that I need? Well, I just reference it for time's sake. When they peace 10K, when they got mad at the lady who had the issue with blood when she got healed, coming at Buddy for carrying this bed after he troubled the water, things of this nature. The poor and the needy did not stand in their cause. Matter of fact, Ezekiel 22. But this is going to come in with the discernment between both matters. Ezekiel 22 and 23. Ezekiel chapter 22, verse 23. As silver is melted, and the word of Yahuwah came unto me saying, this is Ezekiel 22 and 23, And the word of Yahuwah came unto me saying, Son of Adam, say unto her, you, the land that is not cleansed, nor rained upon in the day of indignation, a conspiracy of her prophets in the midst thereof are like a roaring lion ravening the prey. They have devoured souls. They've taken the treasure and precious things. They have made her many widows in the midst thereof. Her priests have violated my law and have profaned my Kadash things. They put no difference between the Kadash and the profane. So that go back to what we read in Malachi about you're going to make a difference. And then we're going to see that again in 1 John, because that's a part of judgment. It's knowing how to make a difference. What did we read last night in Hebrews? How are you a full age? By reason of what, Doris? Get out. You think putting your head down is going to change the face? You got to go. No, I want you to go sit down. Stop getting up. Go sit down. That or summer school? Which one you want? No. You got to go home for a second. He said by reason of use. You have your senses exercised by reason of use. that you can discern between good and evil. Do you recall the definitions of reason of use? Of course you don't. See, if you wasn't in there writing love letters in my classroom, you might have caught it. You might have known the answer. But no, you passing notes in class. You think I ain't seen you? And you were passing them too. I seen you. Then what's the meaning of the words then? No, you wasn't paying attention. See how she tried to throw you under the bus, Doris? She wasn't right. She wasn't right at all. Let me read that to y'all again. Let's look at by reason. This is Hebrews 5 and 14, by the way, where these words are coming from. When you look at reason, that is di. That's by your means, the ground or reason by which something is done. So by reason why something is done, you have your use, which is hexis. That is your acquired custom or practice. So by your acquired custom or practice, you have your senses exercised, which is ahi stay tearon, which is the faculty of mind for perceiving, understanding, and judging. See, if you do not, by reason of a particular custom and practice, how can your mind be even exercised? Shalom, Sister Regina. Peace, East, man. You good, my G? Shalom, Sister Erica. So listen, right? If it's the same thing with muscle, right? You have two words that pertain to muscle. Hey, freak. You have hypertrophy, and you know what the other word is, Lil Johnny? You know the opposite of hypertrophy? Nigga don't lift no weights. This nigga said strength. Do you even know what hypertrophy is? Let's start with that. So where you get strength from that? Is that being the opposite? That's not the opposite of hypertrophy. I'll allow it. Because you can only go based off the pool of information that you have accessible. I'll allow it. But yeah, Brother Joseph hit atrophy, which is the loss of muscle. You understand? So when you don't use your mind as forth as having a particular custom or practice of godliness, guess what's going to happen? Your ability to exercise godliness will dissipate rapidly. You know what your people used to tell you, didn't you? That's why you was in there touching on yourself as a teen. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it. You know what I'm talking about? And you took it literally. Nah, I hope not anyway. How you were laughing, there might have been some validity to that. But no, that's what the old people tell you, man. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it. You know what I'm saying? We were talking about that yesterday, man. When you hit about them 40s, it ain't even about putting no muscle on no more. You know what I'm talking about? It's about trying to keep what you got. You can still put on muscle, but I guarantee you is not finna gain no muscle in your 40s like you did in your 20s and 30s. I guarantee you that. And if you ain't putting on none now, you're going to have a hell of a hard time doing it once you hit 40 compared to 20 years before. You know what I'm saying? It's already a hard process. Getting older don't make it no easier. You know what I'm talking about? But you know, when you have muscle on you, it's easier for you to have a better quality of life. You know what I'm saying? At least for a man anyway. It might be different for ladies. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, once you hit 40, you talking about gains, shoot, you might be lucky to put on some muscle. But I can tell you what you is. Why you think you see dudes and you be like, you seen Mike Tyson doing all that working out, boy, his chest don't look the same. Y'all don't watch wrestling. You seen Chris Jericho? That nigga chest went away. I forgot the condition that they call it, but it went away. You know what I'm talking about? Same thing happened to Kofi Kingston, the fake Jamaican. His chest went away. But my point is, if you don't exercise your senses to do proper judgment, guess what you're going to lose the ability to do? Judge properly. And of course, exercise, you know, we got to skip one definition because it's talking about you being butt naked. Yeah, no, I mean, because that's where the word gymnasium and that's where all that come from the Greeks. They did it all naked. Gymnazo, to exercise naked, and a palasteria or school of athletics. But we want to exercise vigorously in any way, either the body or the mind. And then, of course, discern here is dagresis, and that's distinguishing. You have to have the ability. The reality of the situation is that most people do not have the ability to distinguish between that which is good and that which is evil. The way the gym looks now, they definitely want to work out naked. That's what I hear people talking about. It looked like soft porn. I can't even say it's the women no more, but boy, it was definitely a nigga in there yesterday. Boy, that nigga had short, so short, his meat was out. I said, come on, cuz. You finna sit on there, your balls finna be on the bench. I don't want that bench. I don't even want to spray that down. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just go to another bench. If you on a hammer strength machine, I ain't using that machine. I'm not joking. There was a black dude in there, boy. That boy was in there with tights on, bicycle tights, pulling his shirt down like a woman running in the house with her panties on. I said, come on, cuz. A lot of you not. It don't be as many dudes do it, but you know, what people call hoochie daddy shows, dudes who work out been working out in little shows like that. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on who it is. Because truth be told, depending on what you're doing, it give you more room in your legs if you're doing legs. You know what I'm saying? Where you can feel unencumbered. But you know, women been coming to the gym half naked. You know what I'm saying? That ain't no new thing. Shorts all in their booty cheeks. You know what I'm saying? Camel toe all on expose. That's just what a lot of them do. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of them do it for attention. I think a lot of them don't care. That's just that's what we own. I don't think as many of them do it for attention as people think. I think some of them just think that's what they're supposed to wear to work out in. This is what they sell, and why not? I don't know if dudes be on 103rd being perverts. I wonder if dudes really do be perverse, or do women just perceive dudes perverse, but really ain't nobody looking at you. You just want him to look at you, but you really standing in front of the machine he won't, and you ain't did a movement in 3 to 4 minutes because you on your goddamn phone. You know what I'm saying? And he really wants you to get the hell out of the way. No, sometimes people be thinking you staring at them, they really like, damn, this nigga need to hurry up. You holding me up. He said, that's why you quit going to the gym? Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't be paying attention to nobody in that house. They could be all in there butt naked, and it ain't gonna make me no bit of difference. I'm finna come in here and do what I got to do, and I'm gone. Say probably the latter. Yeah, I think most of them don't really care. They just think that's sign of the times. Y'all seen that video of the Israelite ladies in there working out with dresses on? Like, they the first women to ever go to the gym with a dress on. I used to see Jewish ladies on San Jose with dresses on. A lot of them, too. You know, them synagogues over there by San Jose, I seen plenty of Jewish women in there with dresses on working out all the time. Yeah. But come on, man. Where we at with it? Oh, I was reading them definitions. Come back to Ezekiel 22. One thing you got to be able to have is if you are not using the word, and I ain't talking about using the word just by saying I keep Sabbaths and I don't eat pork. Like, if you're not using justice and judgment on a regular basis, if you're not being merciful on a regular basis, if you're not gracious on a regular basis, then you're not going to be able to make the proper determinations. You're not going to be able to make proper judgments. You're not going to be able to do it. Like he said, Solomon asked for an understanding heart, meaning he asked for an ear to hear the word so that his heart could perceive to do judgment. And he was more so specifically talking about doing judgment in between two parties. Because most people judgment on a godly level is terrible. You know what I'm talking about? It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Number one thing I don't give a damn who they are. I don't care if that's your friend. If you go into it thinking you're going to lean into judgment for your friend, you should recruit yourself. You should move. You should, I can't do it. I ain't going to be able to do it. Because you shouldn't even open your mouth if you know you're going to be biased because that's your friend, because that's your husband, because that's your wife. It doesn't matter. But guess what the Lord going to tell you? You're going to hell. Because I don't care who it is. Matter of fact, let me read it to you. 2 Chronicles 19. I heard a dude tell her, get on a video today and lie so bad. That boy say people going to hell for being a police officer. I wish I was making it up. But it say God gonna get you on judgment day and ask you why you chose to be a cop. Because you can't serve God and mammon. I said, boy, that ain't what that. I said, Lord have mercy. I ain't even being funny too. Dude literally said that, man, I had to cut the video off. That's why I can't even listen. The video was about the dude who ran over the police officer. Ooh, which Gino? Oh, that's just Gino being Gino. That's just Gino being Gino. Because Don asked Gino, why did Cain kill his brother? And Gino can't answer that question. Gino gonna go the direction that he want to go in. You know what I'm saying? When you know Gino, Gino being Gino. You know what I'm saying? You suffer it for a while. If he get off the rails, you just kick him to the goo, and then he leaves. You know what I'm saying? Barry, no. That's just Gino being Gino. Especially if you catch him in there early in the morning. Yeah, you already know. You already know me. You know Gino is Gino. Get Gino and Bando together. Sprinkle a little Judah in there. That's explosive. That's explosive. 2 Chronicles 19:1. Jehoshaphat, the Malach of Yehuda, returned to his house in Shalom to Jerusalem. I don't know. I don't fool with George no more, so I ain't been around. I ain't heard George. I don't fool with George no more. And Jehu, the son of Hanai, the seer, went out to meet him and said to Malach Jehoshaphat, should you help the ungodly and love them that hate Yahuwah? Therefore, wrath is upon you from before Yahuwah. Nevertheless, there are good things found in you, and that you have taken away the groves out of the land and prepared your heart to seek Elohim. Jehoshaphat dwelled at Jerusalem. Gino said he killed. Yeah, man. And he went out again through the people from Beersheba to Mount Ephraim and brought them back to Yahuwah Elohim of the Abbas. He set judges in the land throughout all the fenced cities of Yehuda, city by city, and said to the judges, take heed what you do. Take heed what you do, for you judge not for man, but for Yahuwah, who is with you in judgment. Wherefore let not the fear of Yahuwah be upon you. Take heed and do, for there's no iniquity with Yahuwah Elohim, nor respect of persons, nor taking of gifts. And that's something that you got to realize, man. If there's a situation where you got to do judgment, I don't care if that's your friend. You and your friend gonna go to hell if you don't judge for Yahuwah and you judge for your friend, or for your spouse, or for your child. Because Yahuwah don't care in judgment. It doesn't matter if it's the great. It don't matter if it's the mighty. It don't matter who it is. If the small is justified in judgment, then he gonna justify the small and condemn the mighty. He don't slant judgment towards nobody. Most people may have bad judgment because they make judgment as it pertains to, well, if it's a man, the woman got to be wrong. And then to some people, if it's a woman, then the man got to be wrong. I don't give a damn who it is. Whoever's right is right. Whoever's wrong is wrong. It just is what it is. This is what I mean by most people judgment is off, because most people judge according to their biases based on the people who are involved in the judgment. Meaning whatever the two parties is, you're going to be biased to the one that you like the most. And that's a surefire way to go to hell. You know why? Because what he just said wasn't with Yahuwah. Doris. Huh? What did he say is not with Yahuwah? She wasn't listening. Somebody finna go to 2 summer schools. She gonna have to take 3 different courses in 1 semester. Ain't gonna be no beach for you. No fun for you in the summer. Just schoolwork. Because I'm sick of it. Spend all this damn money and you don't know nothing. I'll allow it. Because that was one of them. I'll allow it. Come over here to Deuteronomy 10 and 16. The biggest issue that most people have in judgment is respect of persons. You know what I'm saying? Respect of persons is people's biggest issue. Circumcise therefore the foreskin of your heart and be no more stiff-necked. For Yahuwah Elohim, Elohim of Elohims, Lord of lords, a great Elohim, a mighty and terrible, which regard not persons nor take reward. He do execute judgment of the fatherless, the widow, love the stranger, and giving him food and raiment. Now let's look at what this means to regard. That he does not have any regard of persons. And then I give you the definition of respect of persons and the next one, and the previous one, I should say. When you look at regard, that is nasa, word you know. That's to lift one up, to be brought up, to lift oneself up, to be carried away. That lets you know he said he does not lift up persons. Persons again here is panim. He does not lift up the face of man. Respect the persons over here in 19, 2 Chronicles 19. Respect is maso, meme, shan, and aleph, and that also means lifting up. Secondly, partiality. Persons again is panim. Partiality. Let's go to the epistle of James. Yeah, Gino say he killed Abel. Gino was wild. I ain't gonna lie though, man. I don't think bro have a good grasp of nuance. To be 100% honest with you. The epistle of James, chapter 2, verse 1. And some people don't. Some people can be rigidly attached to the word. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be attached to the word. I'm talking about to have the nuance to be able to disseminate proper. Hey, cut that out, cuz. Cut that out. Because you acting like you suffering. All you doing is making it hard on yourself. Clearly, your mama got you in that corner for a reason. So turn your behind around. Put your nose in that corner. All that flailing and demonstrative exaggeration of movement, cut it out before she give you a reason to cry for. What are you in the corner for anyway? Oh, so you weren't paying attention, but now you want to flail around. If you turn around and do it properly, you could have been out the corner. The epistle of James, chapter 2, verse 1. My brethren, have not the faith of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach of esteem with respect to persons. So that's number one thing he tell you, is that you shouldn't have the faith of God with respect to persons. Let me see something real fast. And again, it's coming with a correct mind to do proper justice and judgment. Wasn't planning on going this way, but let you will be esteemed. It work the way it works. Come over here to Leviticus 19 and 15 so you can see it out your law again. We had a little light convo about some stuff out these letters in the law. And it brought up the point that I've mentioned to y'all before. Like, when the Lord resurrected from the dead and taught the men that the whole book was about him, it didn't show what he taught. How many of y'all done heard people say, where did Jesus teach the virgin birth? Where did he teach this and teach that? Who says he didn't teach it? Just because you don't see it explicitly written down does not mean that he didn't teach it. Just because you don't see the apostle talking about it does not mean they didn't teach it. If you think that the text contained every single solitary thing they taught or said, it's something wrong with you mentally. But the issue come down to this. There are some things God given. The gospel of Yahushua is God given. You think this man going to open this up and show you this here so you can be like, see, it's right here. Then it wouldn't be special now, would it? Shalom, Sister Rose. Yeah, come on. 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 14. Come on. First Timothy 3 and 14. These things write unto you, hoping to come unto you shortly. But if I tarry long, that you may know how you ought to behave yourself in the house of Elohim, which is the assembly of the living Elohim, the pillar and the ground of the truth. And without controversy, great is the mystery of godliness. Elohim was manifest in the flesh, justified in the Ruach, seen of Malachim, preached unto the Gentiles, believed on in the world, and received up into esteem. Now, a lot of brothers got a problem with that when you see in the mystery of godliness and they say God was manifest in the flesh. Clearly, you know that Paul is directly referring to Yahushua. Now, you'd have to ask yourself, well, Jesus never said he was God. You don't know that. No, but I'm talking about his forefathers, because this is what we were talking about last night. This is what my man Zadok mentioned last night, right? You read that verse, and I think he said Corinthians, but I think it's Timothy, where he says, and it is written, to not muzzle the ox that tread out the corn. Now, he's giving a spiritual concept, but that verse is in the law is talking about what? A literal animal. You know what I'm talking about? But clearly, based off of what the Son of God taught them, that passage is not about an animal. You know what I'm talking about? That's not what that's talking about. Yeah, you look at it on the level, yeah, don't muzzle your ox, but he's talking about the men who work for him, who work for the people. That's what it's talking about. God had to give him that. But guess what? He doesn't break that down that, yes, the Lord taught me this because he gave me this precept and he gave me that precept. So that means for him to write that to Timothy, you know what that tells me? That he already taught that to Timothy. That means Timothy had already taught that to whoever he was teaching, because why would Paul say something to a man if the man wasn't going to understand what he was saying when he said it? So when he makes this statement, this is something that he's already taught this man. So this man has a grasp and understanding of that mystery of what that means, that he know this ain't talking about no ox. That wasn't the point of why it's there. Case in point, what did it came to my mind when we were talking about? He mentioned that. Because he's just talking about certain stuff of a spiritual understanding that's not plainly detailed. When this man say he went to preach to the spirits in prison, there is nowhere in Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John where that is spoke on. So and Peter said it twice. So where is he getting that from? That means that's something that man showed him. And Zadok did make a strong point with this. He said that I will bring to remembrance everything I said unto you. He said there's many things I want to say to you, but you're what? Dull of hearing. I can't tell you this right now. He said, but the Spirit will show you some stuff later on, and it'll bear witness of me. So that means he showed them stuff, and then when they was ready to deal with it, here goes some more. So when he's telling these people who he writing to that this man preached to spirits in prison, guess what that tell us? He already taught these people that. Anybody who teaches people know full well that you can't make statements to somebody of something that you didn't teach them if you're writing to them. Because guess what's going to happen? What the hell is Peter talking about? Guess what's going to happen then? You're going to have to write him to ask him what he's talking about. Then if you're an effective communicator, you're not going to be writing people who you're giving instructions to and put things in there that you didn't teach them. Because you know what? They're not going to know what you're talking about. So guess what that means as a communicator, what you have done? You have failed. I told you, man, I'll never forget it. As long as I live. In that book, Niggas of God, Volume 2, he said the number one key component is that your audience understands your message. If your audience does not understand your message, you have failed. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, we could use, this is what people get upset about. You could go in the hood, and you could use all the vernacular that you want to use. And if them people standing there looking at you, like, what is this nigga talking about? What point of it was? What was the point of it? Then somebody else would be like, man, why you talking like this here, man, like you ain't got no education? But do they understand what you're saying? Can they grasp it? Do they understand it? Then you succeeded. And again, that goes back to when Paul said, I make myself all things to all people that I might save some, because I'm trying to reach you on the level that you understand, or more importantly, the perspective that you see from. That's why I say to those that are under the law, not under the law of God, but under the law. You know what I'm saying? I got to communicate with you according to your doctrine so you can peep where I'm coming from. But you can only do that because you wise, because you seeking to save souls, which means you have the rectitude or the right attributes of God, meaning right thinking, because you have proper judgment. Proper judgment has the ability to discern between what is right and what is wrong, to communicate that to the other party that they might be saved. Say like Luke 6:34. Yeah, man, that man taught a lot of things. That's what, and Zadok said something too last night that I ain't really think about because I ain't never really gave it no attention. But you know, the line, book, chapter, and verse, that's the Israelite line. He said now he's starting to hear Christian people say it, because nobody in ancient times would have said book, chapter, and verse, because there wasn't no book, chapter, and verse. So they just would have searched the scrolls to see if those things are so. See, we throw book, chapter, and verse out there like that. If it ain't no book, chapter, and verse, it don't exist. And that's when dudes get into, well, that's midrash, and this is Mishnah, and this, that, there, and the third. Hey, man, the man already told you in John 20, if everything this man did and said was written in the book, the earth wouldn't have no space in it. And Psalms 40 tell you the same thing. You know what I'm saying? There's no way in the world you can record. You got people who ask some of the, well, if it ain't in the Bible, nigga, everything ain't written in the word. The Bible was not meant to be a comprehensive detailing of every human act that ever occurred. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to detail the interaction between a God and his people, and then contain the mystery of the godliness, of the mystery of the faith contained in those writings that testify of the Son of God, which if a man believe on, he would receive the Ruach HaKodesh. That's what it's for. It's for salvation. It's not for to comprehensively detail everything these people did. That's retarded. Say they should know the book, chapter, and verse, in my opinion, since they like to argue. I'm not going to lie, though. Even the people who argue a lot, most people don't know book, chapter, and verse like that because they don't read the word like that. You know what I'm saying? People know book, chapter, and verse for their doctrine, but not in totality.
Bible probably only put it you read and you get more understanding that's not in the lines.
Yeah, definitely the word is definitely a book that is alive. That information definitely, you can get something different from the same thing 4-5 different ways. You know what I'm saying? But it's the thought process that it's a comprehensive detailing of human history is absolutely retarded. You know what I'm saying? And truth be told, it don't even go into the nuance of all human interactions and emotions and thought processes either, because it's not possible to be that detailed. You know what I'm saying? It's not possible to be that detailed. Not of a writing of this sort. You know what I'm saying? It's not possible because it's not right, because the people who are being spoken about, it's not a first person expose on them and their thoughts and feelings with everything that they went through or occurred to them for the most part. You have to approach the book for what it is. It's the words of salvation if you believe that to be so. Now, if you don't, then you're going to approach it from whatever avenue that you approach it from. You know what I'm saying? But of course, you know, some people tend to get offended by that. And I kind of try to stay away from that myself. Like 2 John 1:12, he said certain things John had. Yeah, let me grab that real fast. Let me see. Come over here to 2 John chapter 1, verse 12. And where I'm at with it. And then I come back to Leviticus 19 and 15. I forgot what I just read.
You just read before. You went that 1 Timothy 3. That was your issue.
Yeah. Come over here to 2 John chapter 1, verse 6. You can make it 5. 2 John chapter 1, verse 5. 2 John chapter 1, verse 5. He said, aside from the book of Eli, I don't know anyone who knows scripture like that in detail. I know it was a movie. I mean, you got to realize the word's supposed to be written on your heart. So the aspect of people when you focus on rattling off book, chapter, and verse, that means you just memorized it. But that don't mean it's in your heart, though. See, when it's in your inward man, it'll flow out of you, not just in word, but in deed and in truth, as John put it. But I understand what you're saying, because I know that the average person is enamored, mesmerized, intrigued, enthralled, if you would, with an individual that they seem to, he can just rattle off Bible verses back to back. But you know, when he leave from you, that boy got a bottle of Jergens and a tape in the VCR. You know what I'm talking about? He got a bottle of Taylor Port and an escort on speed dial. Or he beat up his wife. You know what I'm saying? Or he don't take care of his kids. Or he don't feed the needy. So on and so forth, you know? It's a continual type of deal, you dig? But what we at, 2 John, 1 John, I'm saying, chapter 2, verse 5?
2 John.
2 John, chapter 1, verse 5. And now I beseech you, lady, not as though I wrote a new commandment unto you, but that which you've had from the beginning, that we love one another. And this is love, that we walk after his commandments. This is the commandment that you, as you have heard from the beginning, you shall walk in it. For many deceivers are entered into the world who confess not that Yahushua HaMashiach has come in the flesh. This is a deceiver and an anti-Mashiach. So, what do you think that looked like when they say that they confess that he didn't come in the flesh? What does that look like to you? If you say he didn't come in the flesh, you saying that the testimony from Genesis and Malachi is a lie. You know what I'm saying? Shalom, Quran, man. Yahuwah Baruch. That's going to take you back to your 1 John chapter 5. That if you set to the seal that the testimony that God is true. So when you deny that he comes, so when you look at what is an anti-anointed one, an anti-anointed one is not how some people may want to view it in every instance, but it's more so someone who say that God is a liar. Now, and he say a deceiver. So that's going to take you back to in the garden when he say, you shall not surely die. This is a liar. We read that in 2 Timothy 3. You know, evil men wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. You know what I'm talking about? And what's the first thing that deceives the hearts of men? The hearts of men. You see how we try to segue back that to the 2 Thessalonians I mentioned yesterday. I had to try to segue that back so we can work that in there. That is what it says, good sir. If you do not set to the seal that the testimony of the Son is true, you make God a liar. Now, see, a lot of people want to get into debates and arguments about certain things. You know what I'm saying? See, I don't. Not with that right there. Now, you can have some, well, nigga just have some. See, I ain't going to debate everybody because I have to know you. When I say debate, just have a conversation with you. Like, I got to know you. Like, Gino, that's my nigga. So sometimes they need thinking, why is he doing all that? I'm just trolling Gino because that's my dog. I know how Gino is. I know how he move. I know how he converse. It ain't really that serious. You know what I'm talking about? That's just different. That's a little because he know that because I tell him that. Because Gino was Gino. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mess with my nigga Judah just for fun, but I don't really do that. But like real deal like conversation, no. Once I see you don't believe in the Lord, you some other stuff, man, I'm good. Matter of fact, if I know you don't believe in the Lord, we could be cool. I'm not even going to start that conversation with you because I don't feel the need, desire to try to attempt to convert you. We can throw some stuff out there. We was having conversation about the Ark of the Covenant the other day. Dude said he called the Ark of the Covenant a war weapon. I said I wouldn't go that far. But I understand why he said it, though. And you know why he said that, Doris? You know what's in 1 Samuel chapter 5, Doris? In 1 Samuel 5, well, it might not be. Is it 5? It could be 5. I can't remember. But you know what I'm saying? But when the Philistines heard the Jews shouting in the camp, they knew the Ark of the Covenant was with them. Them boy knew they were finna die. Because what's the word? It was representative that Yahuwah was with them. Like literally with them. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, what's the on top of the Ark of the Covenant, Doris? You better not get it wrong, man. On top of the Ark of the Covenant, you better not get it wrong. Wiggle her toes, Jeremiah Jamesburg. Grab her toes. Take hold of her feet. I'll allow it. That's not the right answer. I'll allow it. Grab a feet. Bird, I give you $1. Grab a feet. Yeah, he don't want to grab a feet. I thought you were Jeremiah James Bird. I thought you were Sweet James Jones, and the trick you couldn't beat it. So you can squeeze them. The mercy seat is on the top. What is the mercy seat for? That's for anybody. But that's not what it's for. It ain't for judgment either. No, it's for a specific purpose. Explicitly, by definition.
Mercy? You said, what's the mercy seat for?
Yeah.
I thought that was a throne.
It is a throne, but it's for an explicit purpose, by definition.
To atone?
To atone. You know what I'm saying? It's for atonement. Remember when they did the Day of Atonement and he went behind the veil, what's behind the veil?
They put the blood on the mercy seat, right? Right? That's what the high priest do.
Yeah, he went in there putting it behind the veil. You know what I'm saying? Like by definition, that's what it's for. It's for atonement. That's why the leading is calling it the mercy seat, because it's for reconciliation. That's why on atonement they go behind the veil. Now we reconcile. We got a little purging. We back at one. You know that was your song, wasn't it? Back at one. You don't know that song?
We are one.
Now we are one. I was back at one. My God, today. You don't listen to me. You still listen to Brian McKnight, even though he denied all assurance. Say, what does it mean that atonement takes place behind the veil? Remember when the temple was still standing, Joseph? You know, Day of Atonement, 7th day, 10th month. The high priest had to go behind the veil. He had to put on his linen garments. He's the only one who could go behind the veil in the Kadash of the Kadash. He had to make atonement for himself and then atonement for the sins of the people. And then after he would do that, he would have to take off the linen garments and set them aside. So when Yahushua was crucified and he died, the veil in the temple rent, which means now that's why Hebrews 4 says, you know, you can come to the throne of mercy for help in the time of need, because the atonement has been made, so you can go straight to the throne for reconciliation versus having to wait for the 10th day of the 7th month for the high priest to bring in the blood of a bull and a goat and a lamb. You know what I'm saying? But it's more so temple operation.
I don't think the Pharisees probably didn't tell people.
Oh, they knew. They probably knew. There was a lot going on. You know what I'm talking about? And considering how the Jews operated, the high priest would have had to make that known. Also, that veil written would let you know that the atonement has been made. The atonement has been made, and also showing you that this building is coming down. Now, because we were talking about that, man, you know, as it said, as Yahuwah stated, he never asked anybody to build him a house. And of course, you know, Solomon said, the heavens of heavens can't contain you. How much more can this house that I built contain you? Because he told you, I don't dwell in. See, when people hear he don't dwell in, then you think, no, he's saying he don't. He wasn't talking about the stuff that niggas say when they say he don't dwell in temples made with hand. No, he was saying he don't literally himself. You know what I'm saying? There's no place that can be built with man's hands that the living God would dwell in. He seek to dwell in man. I just seen a brother misuse 1 Corinthians 3, yesterday maybe. So, but you got to eat right. You defile your temple. That verse ain't got nothing to do with what you put in your mouth, cuz. That junk ain't got nothing to do with you smoking cigarettes, drinking beer, eating snacks, Debbie snacks, you know what I'm talking about, coffee snacks, whatever type of snack. That man talking about defiling with what come out of your heart. But see, it's easier to say you defiling your temple because you smoking a cigarette than to say you defiling your temple because you lustful, you're a liar, you're selfish, you got an evil eye, you're wicked, you're a murderer. Yeah, that's easy to say. I defiled my temple for smoking cigarettes. Well, you defiled your temple before you lit that Newport. You know what I'm talking about? Hell, you might as well put all 20 cigarettes in your mouth and smoke them at once. And you still wouldn't be defiled. You just have stank breath and some smoky clothes. I just watched a video where dude was talking about trying to justify smoking weed. But if you would have seen how that nigga was talking about that weed, he had a bud in his hand. But then they say, you see them crystals on that bud? Each crystal is for another galaxy. I said, Lord have mercy. That boy said, another galaxy, boy. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't never heard that one before. I done smoked a lot of weed in my day, boy. I ain't never heard that one before. You know what I'm saying? I say, boy, that boy came up with a creative one this end, boy. Now, the dude doing the video said, hey, man, he said, I smoked weed for 20 years, man. He said, ain't too much I done heard with somebody trying to justify smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? Eat their own. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't finna argue with you. All I can tell you is, if you think the Father in heaven rolling one up and passing it to the Son, and the Son passing it to the angels, then you'll be good. But if they ain't smoking in Shamaim, boy, you're going to have a problem when you see him. I tell you that. He said, as the Father do, the Son do likewise. And everything I do, he said, y'all going to do. So, shoot, if you smoking a doobie, you telling me the Lord smoking one too. So I sure hope they in heaven smoking on one for you, boy. Because if he ain't smoking on one, boy, y'all going to have a problem when you see him.
Smoking on you.
You smoking, he like this here. He gonna be like this here, huh? Nigga pack. That's what he gonna be having. Wouldn't that be messed up, boy? If the Lord came down here talking to y'all like niggas be talking. I'm smoking on that nigga pack. Yeah, man. Shalom, brother Craig, man. He said, I see. Is there another level to the high priest being invisible than the Holy Spirit? Oh no, it's not that he's invisible. It's just if you go look at Leviticus 16, Joseph, man, and you see the operation of what the high priest has to do on the Day of Atonement. So that day, the sacrifices were made for the high priest had to go in and make a sacrifice for himself and then sacrifices for the people. So he would go behind the veil in the Holy of Holies or the Kadash Kadash. This is the set apart place in the temple. And only the high priest could go in there. So like when you see when the Lord said, I will not drink of this fruit of the vine till I drink it new with you in my Abba's kingdom, because he was ascending into the inner sanctum in heaven. And the high priest can't be drunk going in there. So that's why he told him, oh, no, I can't drink that. I drink it new with you when I go in here. I can't drink it where I'm going because the high priest can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Leviticus 19 and 15. You shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. You shall not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness shall you judge your neighbor. And that's it. Simple as that. The Epistle of James, chapter 2. Yeah, you know, people smoking weed, that's the least of my concerns. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason I say that because, man, once you done been in the word a long time and you done heard to my calamus and they was burning the man, hey, bro, do what you do. You know what I'm talking about? Meaning if you trying to justify that, if you have to go overtime to justify it, you pretty much know you're wrong. That's just my estimation. Anything that's of a godly nature, you wouldn't have to go to the extremes to try to convince somebody else that what you're doing is Kadash. It would just be evident. You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell you, there's certain stuff that I'm not finna go back and forth. You want to smoke weed, smoke it. Hell, smoke crack if you want to. No, because you would look at stuff, people don't never fight that hard to use any other drug, just the drugs they like. I don't see nobody fighting hard to pop a Molly. I don't see nobody fighting hard for anybody to snort no fentanyl. I don't see nobody fighting hard to smoke opium, shoot some heroin, snort some coke, smoke some crack, take some meth. I don't see nobody fighting hard for that. First thing they scream, marijuana on the earth, so it's cocaine. I don't see you trying to snort that. So is heroin. You know what I'm talking about? That's straight from the earth. Get you a nice poppy plant, and then you good to go. Yeah, opium is a little red ball because I knew a dude from Memphis that used to smoke it. He would break it up on his weed. I mean, because heroin and marijuana are depressants. They had the same effect on the central nervous system. They're depressants. They slow the central nervous system down. It's just the aspect that your brain becomes chemically dependent on opium than marijuana. Let me not even say marijuana, on THC, which is what gets you high. Because you can get marijuana without THC and you won't be high. It'll taste like weed, it'll smell like weed, but you won't be high though. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I said the only difference between marijuana and heroin is you don't get physically dependent on it. That's why they say heroin and marijuana, just go take a nap. You know what I'm saying? Just stay up a little late. You get the same effect. You get the same effect. Because they're depressants. They're going to slow your central nervous system down. But you take methamphetamines, cocaine, those are uppers. You know what I'm saying? Stimulants, if you would. That's the word I was looking for. Papa Molly, they swear this nigga here, right? Yeah, they stimulants. So that means they accelerate your central nervous system. That's why you hear about people on meth or cocaine, they have heart attacks. Because it accelerated your central nervous system. You know what I'm talking about? And then you have your psychedelics, which are shrooms. Shrooms are natural too. I don't see nobody rushing to get no shrooms. I'm talking about advocating for the usage. Outside of people I know who actually, that's what they do. But they don't be around here trying to say, I ain't wicked for you. Hey, I'm going to take my shrooms. Shrooms, LSD. I think ecstasy / Molly could be considered to be a psychedelic. And that's basically a hallucinogen. Something that's going to make you, shrooms make you hallucinate. LSD makes you hallucinate. Ketamine, I forget what ketamine is, but I know it killed niggas. Let me see what Special K is. Man. A lot of y'all got kids. You better. No. K2 something else.
Yeah, K2.
K2 is fake marijuana.
K2 is what you call it?
They put up here Special K cereal. We don't want that. Ketamine is a dissociative anesthetic used medically for the induction and maintenance of anesthesia. It is also used as a treatment for depression and pain management. And ketamine is an NMDA receptor antagonist, which accounts for most of its psychoactive effects. So it's a hallucinogen.
Hey.
Yeah, it's a hallucinogen. Hold on, it's got this whole. Yeah, it's used as a recreational drug for its hallucinogenic and dissociative effects. So Special K is an hallucinogen. You know what I'm saying? It's in the same realm. Yeah, I see that, Joseph. That's medical grade. That's right. That's where I learned horse tranquilizers because they give it to horses. And niggas used to put that in ecstasy. He said, I know people who go picking shrooms in the autumn. They reckon you eat the wrong one, you can die. Sounds dangerous. Hey, I've never had shrooms. I've never seen a shroom. So. Yeah, they make you hallucinate. I can tell you about it. They make you hallucinate. They call them magic mushrooms. They say magic mushrooms have shown usefulness in depression and anxiety. They contain a chemical called cycloben or cyclokin. These chemicals cause you to see, hear, and feel things that are not real. Magic mushrooms come fresh, dried, or powder form. Magic mushrooms can be taken as tea, cooked with food, or added to fruit juice. And a person that can take them can legally, a person can take cycloben legally by being in a research. We don't care about being in a study group. While taking magic mushrooms, you might also have high blood pressure, a faster heart rate, feel dizzy or lightheaded, have the chills, feel anxious, have an upset stomach and vomit, and your tongue and mouth might become numb.
In some cultures, when they be taking, that's how they be taking that third eye. Looking that third eye.
Say the effects of magic mushrooms can be overwhelming and scary, called a bad trip. If someone's having a bad trip, try to help them calm with calm reassurance in a quiet area. So yeah, that's what that is. Say, don't look fun, huh? They go down the K-hole. Wow. He said, I seen a girl, we were without take care and pass out in the club. Yeah, see, that's Epistle James, man, chapter 2. That's I forgot. We still in 2 John chapter 1. That's too much for me. But yeah, you gotta. No, we took a class in high school. I forgot what it was. It wasn't DARE. I forgot the name of it. I could see the book. It was a red textbook, but I can't remember what class it was. But it literally had, but it wasn't just about drugs though. But it literally had every drug known to man, and was it a stimulant, depressant, or hallucinogen, and how it affected the body. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people take stuff, and you don't know how it's going to affect your body. You know what I'm saying? So that's how a lot of people get caught out there. You know what I'm saying? Because niggas like this here. Like we were talking, man, most dudes get on drugs chasing women. Or social circles. You in a circle of people, and they be like, hey, man, and you just take, it ain't even necessarily hardcore peer pressure. Nigga just pass it to you, you feel like you in the group, so you got to do it. Ain't no, because I'm going to be honest with you, contrary to what they put on the movies and TV, ain't nobody finna pressure nobody to use no drugs. I promise you ain't nobody. I ain't met a crackhead yet. So you ain't going to smoke my crack? The first thing they think, that more dope for me. Yeah, that's just TV. You know what I'm saying? Real life, at least with niggas anyway. I can't speak for white folks. Real life, nigga, you telling me nigga already don't want to share. Nah, the women could put pressure on you, and the man to put pressure on her for them yams, because he want her not to be in her right mind, so he can get some yams. We used to tell them girls that all the time when we were young. Man, that man ain't giving you no alcohol because he just want to drink with you. He trying to lower your inhibitions. Yeah, he trying to. No, he wasn't trying to lower them. He was like this here. I got something for you. But a nigga like this here, get you another drink. Get you another drink. Yeah, he hoping you want to pull your shirt off. Talking about it's hot in here. That's what he looking for. When we were young, them girls, they never want to believe us when we told them that. Till it happened to them. Nigga, they trying to tell you. You think a nigga bought a whole bottle of Remy, he ain't drinking nothing? He steady giving you a glass? He trying to get to something. Take that G and that L off. That's what he trying to get to.
It made me think, what was that FAMU when they used to have the little parties? At the house parties, the drinks be free, and the girls think they special.
It ain't special. That boy trying to get you loose.
Think about them. The Q dogs, they be having like free liquor.
Yeah, that's why they do. I ain't gonna lie though. That's some real dive predatory type time right there, boy. For you to set it up knowing full well you giving alcohol to women for free, and why you doing it, well, you's a pervert. All jokes aside, man, I ain't even being funny, boy. You was a sexual deviant, boy. Because you knew what you were doing. Because if it was free alcohol, everybody could drink. That means you ain't give. I want you niggas drunk.
Ladies free.
Ladies free, alcohol for them free. Well, you know what you doing, boy. You a sexual assault. Now, once you say that the alcohol free for the women, and you got all, and you trying to make sure they get it, y'all trying to assault somebody later on. Man, let me tell you something real, man. I would like this as a jit, boy. If that woman drunk, man, well, I don't want to have no relations with no woman who cannot consent to it in her right mind. Boy, that's how you go to prison. That's how you go to prison, boy. Well, you want a woman who drunk, she don't know what's going on, and you want to lay with her? Yeah, boy, you might be a rapist too. He said, I've tripped out on X before. I took the dog for a walk with no shoes on and no dog with me, my Lord.
I will walk myself. I went put the collar around his neck and walked around the neighborhood.
Say crazy times in my life. Praise you who indeed.
When he said, you the dog.
Yeah. No, but I mean, certain drugs like that, they can. When you're dealing with hallucinogens and psychedelic drugs, bro, that can happen. You say 3 times I got drunk. I hated the feeling in the army. They said you can't consent drunk, so they discourage doing anything while drunk. You can't consent while you drunk. That's why I said what I said. I knew that young. Man, I told you, man, we was at this girl I used to fool with, how she done got drunk. My homeboy like, boy, she in the drunk. I said, we finna take her, put her in the bed. We finna go home. He looking crazy. I said, oh, no. Nigga won't catch me on Channel 12 News for this here. What you got in your brain? No, sir. Well, it was 1999, boy. That happened. He looking at me crazy. I said, nah, bro, we finna put her in the bed. And we finna go home, cuz. It was me, him, and Fat Boy. You know what I'm saying? Fat Boy wasn't on that what he was on. He was tripping. We picked her right on up, laid her in the bed, locked the door, and left. So I admit that. You know what I'm saying? Man, her mama left her with us, bought her alcohol. Yeah, we was at Emerson Arms. My mama didn't care. You know what I'm saying? She didn't care. Y'all have a good time. I'm gone. She drunk. I'm talking about she out of there. Bro, like, boy, she drunk, what? I said, well, yeah. I said, yeah, we finna put her in the bed. Man, our food was shorty, though. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm like, we was all cool with her. Shoot, he's still cool with her now. The nigga who said that, but like, I fooled with her, though. You know what I'm talking about?
Say it a lot.
You know what I'm saying? But I was fooling with her, though. Like, nah, bro, we can't do that. All I'm thinking about, we going to prison. You know what I'm talking about? What he got on his mind, if niggas simple enough to go, well, I ain't that pressed for no yams, boy. We going to prison, cuz. All it's gonna take is they assaulted me. Well, I'm not going to jail for that. I have no dispute with that. I have no dispute with that. We weren't grown. I was older than her. Them 2 niggas was still in high school. It was in the summer.
I remember you saying.
Yeah, I was 18. Shoot, 16? Yeah, I just graduated from high school. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, we all peers. Like this was literally the summer of 1998. You know what I'm talking about? So nigga, I just graduated from high school. Them boys still in school. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, they still. I'm the only one who's a legal adult. Everybody else minors. You know what I'm talking about? But even if we wasn't minors and we was all legal adults, I still ain't doing that. You know what I'm talking about? Number 1, because I fooled with shorty. Number 2, well, I'm not going to jail for that. No, sir. No, sir. Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? There's no way she can consent to nothing. She drunk. No, man. So I was dragging him off people's front lawn at 2, 3 in the morning to get him back. He wasn't even there. That's how you know he was good and high. That's why I stayed with weed. Weed never had you like that. Come on, man. Everything. 2 John, man, chapter 1. Verse 8. I read 7 again. But yeah, man, it's good. I'm telling you, though, I know I done told you this before, though. It's good to be aware of what that type of stuff is and have a conversation with your children. Now, of course, I wouldn't recommend you going to the store and buying these things and show it to them in real life. You don't have to do that like I did. You have Google now. You can Google it and show them a picture. Chat GPT can pull a picture up for you and you can show it to them. Because if you want to act like they're not going to be around other kids that actually have access to these drugs and knowledge of these drugs, man, kids, one thing about children, y'all know this because it don't stop when you get grown, is that everybody want a friend. And most people want to belong to a peer group. And most people are not mentally strong and adept enough of being rejected by the peer group by not doing what everybody else is doing. So you got to let them know, hey, son, this is what this look like. This is what it do to you. They got to have an understanding so that they can actually make proper judgment and decisions when they see things. Without knowledge and and understanding, how can you make a right judgment? You can't, because you don't have a basis to pull from. Hoping the child is just going to make a right judgment because you told them not to do something is a recipe for disaster. Let me ask y'all this question before I read this, John. How many times, I'm talking about as a teen, maybe even in middle school, though you still would have been a teen for at least the back 2 years of middle school. I don't know. You might have been a teen in the 6th grade. You look like you might have got a hard time getting out of elementary school. But shoot, I'll say it. Hey, boy, you right back in the corner, boy. But nevertheless, how many times your people told you not to do something, but they ain't give you no insight, and you did it anyway because you had no idea what you were doing? They just know don't do it. They didn't give you any understanding or wisdom or knowledge on why you shouldn't do it. You had to find out the hard way to see. Now I see why Daddy told me not to do that. Now you really want to do it. I know that was you little girls. Don't you go out here having sex with them boys. Now I want to see. I only say that because my peers used to say that. No, for real. Some of my peers used to say that. Their mama told them don't have sex. Now they wanted to have sex. Because they said that's where it stopped at. They didn't give no information. Now they intrigued. And guess where that come in at? He said, all the trees in the garden you shall freely eat. He said, but don't eat this one. Now I'm intrigued. What this one do? Look at you. That's how you climbing out the windows. What this one do? Out there with them nigga churning packs and smoking weed and blacking miles. Probably was smoking 305. You know what it is. You bought the green pack. You don't know what those 305 is? So you sitting around there with your granddad knowing that man smoking them 305.
No, only because I know what a 305 is because I used to work at it.
Now you just said you didn't know what it was.
I had to remember. It's a secret, right?
Yeah, nigga, no, they don't have no problem lying. What gas station you worked at?
Pilot.
You ain't working no damn Pilot.
Yes, I did.
When you worked at Pilot?
We didn't when I was crazy like that. See, I didn't know what 305 was until.
I know you a long time. I ain't never heard you say nothing about working at no Pilot. Boy.
Worked in a pilot for a week.
That is not the truth. That is not the truth. That is not
Well, I ain't never heard you say you worked at no Pilot.
I worked in Pilot. And I worked there for like several months.
I don't believe it. Say that's the difference between him and us. He said, if you eat from this tree, you will surely die. Hold on, Barry just son about cannabis, about that CBD, not that BBD. Say, what is cannabinoid hypermist syndrome? Oh, yeah, I know about that. There, you talking about that nausea, and you got a loss of. I'm gonna tell you something. Be honest with you. If you smoke marijuana long enough, that junk don't give you the munchies. Now, if you've been smoking weed for a real long time, that junk take your appetite away. I ain't gonna lie, that's almost borderline. You're addicted to it. You got some people who can't go to sleep if they don't smoke. All type of stuff, man. But yeah, man. But that's another conversation. 2 John, man, chapter 1, verse 7. For many deceivers are entered into the world who confess not that Yahushua HaMashiach has come in the flesh. This is a deceiver and an anti-Mashiach. Look to yourselves that we lose not those things which we have worked, but that we receive a full reward. Whosoever transgress and abide not in the doctrine of a Mashiach have not Elohim. He that abide in the doctrine of a Mashiach, he have both the Abba and the Son. If there come any unto you and bring not this doctrine, receive him not into your house, neither bid him Godspeed. For he that bid him Godspeed is partaker of his evil deed. That man telling you ain't supposed to let no. If somebody come in with a doctrine different than the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach, you ain't supposed to say God be with you or let him in your house. You know where that come from? The garden. Don't even fool with him. He said, having many things to write unto you, I would not write with paper and ink, but trust I come to you and speak face to face that your joy may be full. Because he got a lot to say. Can't put all that in no paper. Then that's the other part that's not even spoken of. You don't even know what the apostles talked to these people when they were in the assemblies with them. But that's a whole nother conversation. Back to the epistle of James chapter 2 about respect of person. Cut that light off in that bathroom, Ruthie. Continue on, Ruthie. Yeah, but that's definitely the case with marijuana. You smoke marijuana long enough, people tell me, I got the munchies. Yeah, I tell you, you just started smoking. Oh, you just might have had a good. So you have to have some extremely powerful marijuana if you like. You get the munchies. Like you smoke weed every day, a lot. That junk will kill your appetite. And you know how you know this? Because that's what heroin do to you. It kill your appetite. Because remember, it's not the drug per se. It's what the drug does to your nervous system. That's why I say it's a depressant. Heroin and marijuana are depressants. They slow down the central nervous system. So that's how you have to look at drugs, not the drug, but what it does to your nervous system. Because you could get bad at people. Crack is cocaine, and cocaine is cocaine. You know how you know that? An egg is an egg. I don't care how you cook that egg, it's still an egg. You know what I'm talking about? You could boil it, you could scramble it, you could poach it, sunny side up. But guess what it still is? An egg. So guess what you do with cocaine? You can snort it, you can smoke it, you can shoot it, you can do whatever you want, but it's still cocaine. It's still a stimulant that will affect your central nervous system by accelerating it. So when people talk about it ain't a big deal to use drugs, you would have to look at it as if it was something godly that you were supposed to do, it wouldn't have any effect on your central nervous system, positive or negative. So if you're taking something that's accelerating your nervous system, it's slowing your nervous system down, it's causing your nervous system to hallucinate, then that's not something you're supposed to be using. Just because it's on the earth don't mean it's for you. I don't see you niggas running to go get no poison ivy. Does it itch or does it make your skin itch? You should have took a bath, you wouldn't be itching. Better get you some cowmine lotion. And Pistol James had to. Hey, get somewhere and sit down, Ruby. Go find your mama. Maury, go find your mama. Ain't nobody talking to you. My brethren, have not the faith of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach of esteem with respected persons. If there come unto your assembly a man with a gold ring and goodly apparel, and there come in also a poor man in vile raiment, and you have respected him that wear the gay clothing, and said, hold on, did y'all see that video of that white preacher man when he was like, he talking about that's why your children gonna be gay. He said, I want them to be gay. I want them to be as gay as they can be. I want them to be as happy as they can be. But the one thing I don't want them to be is a filthy faggot. I'm not making this up.
He said it right.
He didn't even say that right, because if he said he don't want him to be, you don't want him to be a bundle of sticks. That's what a faggot is. You ain't know that? Mm-hmm. You look on the back of a dime, that on the back of a dime, that bundle of sticks, that's a faggot on the back of the dime. Yeah, that's what that's called. A bundle of sticks is called a faggot. Look it up. Hold on, let me get that information. Sister Regina said, what? Yeah. I thought y'all knew that. They just brought up fagard. Google don't even let faggot come up. They just don't got no returns. It says number 1, offensive, North American, a gay man. Number 2. What did it say? Number 2, a bundle of sticks or twigs bound together as fuel.
Yeah, that's all that's for the bundle.
A bundle of sticks. Say often shortened to fag. Is a slur in the English language that was used to refer to gay men. But man, we don't care about all that. They only want to focus on the fact of the gay people. I want to focus on the historical aspects of the word. Well, I guess I can understand why they would do that. They say the term originated in the 16th century as an insult directed at women, particularly older women. Its association with homosexuality likely stems from the linguistic patterns of terms such as Nancy, sissy, and queen. Because you call somebody a Nancy boy, you call them a faggot. To demean homosexual or effeminate men. The application of the term to old women is possibly shortening the term. faggot gatherer, applied in the 19th century to people, especially older widows, who made a meager living by gathering and selling firewood. It's also derived from the sense of something awkward to be carried. Compare the use of the word baggage as a pejorative term for old people in general. An alternative possibility is that the word is connected with the practice of fagging in British public schools, in which younger boys perform potentially sexual duties for older boys, although the word faggot was never used in the context only fag. There is a reference to the word faggot being used in the 17th century Britain to refer to a man hired in military service simply to fill out the ranks at muster, but there's no known connection with the word's modern usage. The Yiddish word fagale, little bird, itself is a pejorative term for gay men and has been claimed by some to be related to the American usage. Fagel, pronounced Fagel, is the nickname, so what does it say, for a younger girl named Fagi, after Moses' wife Zipporah, Hebrew for bird. Similarity between the two words make it possible that it might at least have a reinforcing effect.
That's clever.
There's an urban legend called an oft-reprinted assertion by Douglas R. Harper, creator of the online etymology dictionary, that the modern slang meaning developed from the standard meaning of faggot as bundles of sticks for burning. With regard to burning at the stake, homosexuals were burned at the stake during the Middle Ages, as sexual intercourse between same-sex people was considered to be sodomy and therefore punished. The emergence of the slang term in the 20th century American English is unrelated to any historical death penalties for homosexuality. Moreover, homosexuality in England and its colonies was never punished by immolation, but instead by the accused being hanged in their never knew that they would say that because they were burning homos at the stake. My God, today. You learn something new every day. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing like with the word queen. You know, y'all remember what some of the meanings for the word queen come from? What it is then? A banshee. A banshee. Here's another one. Say, bundle of twigs bound up. Fagald. From Old French, faggot, bundle of sticks. Probably from the Italian fagato, bundle of sticks. Diminutive of vulgar Latin, facus. From the Latin fascis, bundle of wood. See fascis. But another theory traces the vulgar Latin word to the Greek phylakos, or bundle, which is probably pre-Greek. Especially used for burning heretics, so that the phrase fire and faggot was used. And you know that's wild because that bundle of sticks got a flame on it on the back of the dime. So they probably could have been symbolizing burning homosexuals. Flame, damn. So when they said a flaming faggot, they talking about a nigga who was getting burned alive. Damn. That's tough though. No, I mean, because sometimes when you pause and you look at the origins of certain things, you be like, some words or phrases definitely have nefarious origins. You know what I'm saying? You know how it said, where picnic come from? They talking about pick a nigga, and then they sat out there and watched black people be hung by trees while they eat ham sandwiches. That's wild. Pistol of James, chapter 2. That's disturbing. I don't even know if I want to walk around and call nobody no flaming faggot. I'd rather let the Lord flame you. That's taking judgment in your hands at that point. I'm talking about, hey, boy, you might be wicked, but I can't sit back and be like, that's cool. Take a grown man, hang him from a tree and set him on fire. You know what I'm saying? That's a bit much. I ain't monetized. Nigga gonna have to report it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this is historical information. Mad at me because the word faggot mean bundle of sticks. Shoot, bundle them then. That's what you been doing. No, they do sweeps, and then it takes somebody reporting it. But you know, that's just a historical background. But I said we ain't monetized, so it don't make no difference. I was somebody mentioned the other day talking about we be editing the video. This nigga wanna know this stuff live. We don't edit nothing. What I look like editing a live video?
I can't even see you.
That nigga don't know me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even edited videos when we shot them on the camera. Boy, I was glad when we figured we could live stream. Man, all that taking that junk and that spend time taking the thing out the camcorder and putting it in the laptop and uploading and all that. I ain't got time for all that. You know what I'm saying? The first videos, Nell used to edit them because she used to put music in. You know what I'm saying? You go on Jesus for True Freedom, some of them got graphics and music because she wanted to be creative.
Trying to get the followers up.
No, I just think she just wanted to do something. But yeah, man, these video live, man. Once I hit in stream, well, that junk going up there the same way. Boy, I ain't got no time to be. Let me cut this part out, cut that part out. YouTube is gonna have to take that whole down. You know what I'm talking about? They damn sure took about 5, 6 of them down. Talking about we were talking bad about COVID. It did. They took about 5 of them down. Where we at, man? Epistle of James, chapter 2, verse 5. No, verse 4. Are you not then partial in yourselves and become judges of evil thoughts? Hearken, my beloved brethren, have not Elohim chosen the poor of this world, rich in faith, heirs of the kingdom which he have promised to them that love him? But you have despised the poor, and do not rich men oppress you and draw you before the judgment seats? Do they not blaspheme that worthy name by which you are called? If you fulfill the royal law according to the scripture, you shall love your neighbor as yourself, you do well. But if you have respect of persons, you commit sin and are convinced of the law as transgressors. So you got to remember that when you got respect of persons, you saying the law sin. So we can't be doing that. Who was that before? Ezekiel 22. No, I know that editing John serious, man. I'll be seeing them content creators, boy, and boy be looking stressed out when they be editing videos. That's why I see why a lot of them, outsource that out. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that junk ain't no joke. I ain't no content creator, so I ain't. Well, I'm talking about if I did make content, boy, it's going up there raw, boy. Just like how your churn got here. Uncut. Straight like that cocaine, boy. I'm not cutting nothing. You know what I'm talking about? I'm gonna take it how I got it. You know what I'm saying? That's how we used to serve it. We serving it to you the same way we got it. Ain't cut nothing. 22, man. 25. Ezekiel. No, I'm in 26. Ezekiel 22 and 26. But priests have violated my law and have profaned my Kadash things. They put no difference between the Kadash and the profane. Neither have they showed between the unclean and the clean, and have hid their eyes from my Shabbats, and I am profaned among them. For princes in the midst thereof are like wolves ravening to prey, to shed blood, to destroy souls, to get dishonest gain. For prophets have daubed them with untempered mortar, seeing vanity and divining lies unto them, saying, Thus saith Yahuwah Elohim, when Yahuwah have not spoken. The people of the land have used oppression, exercised robbery, vexed the poor and needy. They have oppressed the stranger wrongfully, and I sought for a man among them that should make up the hedge and stand in the gap before me in the land, that I should not destroy it, and I found none. So when you look at this, because we were talking about the aspect of what it is to know him, and the people didn't know him. You know why? Because they were doing the same thing during the time of the Lord. They were oppressing people. See, you can't say that you have Yada, you experience God and you oppress people. You can't say you know God and you evil to people. You strife-filled, you contentious, you're a scorner. You don't know God, you a liar. They can say you ain't no pimp. You a rest haven for hoes, nigga. A lot of these dudes, you ain't no saint. You a rest haven for sinners. That's right, putting the poor and needy and damnation before God every day. 1 John chapter 3, verse 1. 1 John 3:1. Behold, what manner of love of Allah bestowed upon us that we should be called the sons of Elohim. Therefore the world know us not, because it knew him not. And remember, Paul, what that is, John 15? Come on. Why you running in my house? Start over. Go back and start over. Check the attitude, or I can check your chin. You know what time it is in here. Better get yourself together. $15 and $18 is fine. You know, it's an ugly world out here, man. If the world hates you, you know that it hated me before you. If you were of the world would love his own. But you are not of the world, but I've chosen you out of the world. Therefore, the world hates you. Now, you know in another part in 1 John, he tell you that in chapter 4 to be specific. He said that are of the world. He said, you know, those that are of Elohim hear us. Those who are not of Elohim hear the world. Therefore, you know the difference. Because now we're talking about making a delineation and a separation. Now, you know, Hebrews 4:12 say that the word is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. It can distinguish the intents of the inward man of an individual, whether they do righteousness or whether they do wickedness. The reality of the situation is this. The vast majority of people who profess to be servants of God will always seek to justify themselves and to try to gather other people to justify them also. Now, I ask y'all this question. When you see a pattern of men who serve God in actuality, did you ever see them doing that? Trying to gather people up to justify that they serve God and that they were godly? Did Elijah do that when Jezebel killing everybody? No, he didn't. Even Obadiah didn't do that when he say, man, you trying to get me killed? You know I'm finna mention it. What Jacob told Laban? My righteousness gonna speak for me. I ain't got to go back and forth with you. Remember what that Peter told? What Gamaliel told to them people about Peter them in Acts 5. You remember what he told them? I ain't going to read it. Somebody better go ahead and get it together.
If it be of Elohim,
it can't be falling apart. But if not, you finna be fighting against God. He said, leave them men alone. Come on, because they looking bewildered, disheveled, up in it. Hey, sit down, boy, before you be crestfallen in this hole. I'm talking to you, boy. And put that blanket down. That ain't for no plan. If you ain't finna lay down, you need to get from up under it. Unask the blanket, boy. Because you playing. Acts 5:33. When they heard, they were cut to the heart and took counsel to slay them. Then there stood up one in the council, a Pharisee named Gamaliel, a doctor of the law, had in reputation among all the people, and commanded to put the apostles forth a little space. He said unto them, you men of Yasharal, take heed to yourselves what you intend to do as touching these men. For before these days rose up Theudius, boasting himself to be somebody, to whom a number of men, about 400, joined themselves, who was slain, and all, as many as obeyed him, were scattered and brought to nothing. After this man rose up Judas of Galilee in the days of the taxing, and drew away much people after him. He also perished, and all, as many as obeyed him, were dispersed. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men, and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to nothing. But if it be of Elohim, you cannot overthrow it. Lest happily you be found even to fight against Elohim. And to him they agreed, and when they had called the apostles and beaten, they commanded them that they should not speak in the name of Yahushua, and they let them go. And they departed from the presence of the council, rejoicing that they were counted worthy to suffer shame for his name. And daily in the temple and in every house they ceased not to teach and preach Yahushua HaMashiach. Now understand, when they were doing this and beginning at Moses and the prophets and the Psalms, they were preaching this man. That's what they were doing. See, nigga can make their mouth fry fish. If you not talking about this man from Genesis to Malachi, boy, you don't work for God. God ain't sent you. He don't know you. He ain't gave you no job. Nigga, stop lying. Because if you say that's what everybody like to say, right? They following the apostles' doctrine. Well, that's what the apostles were doing. I'm telling you right now, the apostles wasn't debating no Godhead. And they weren't debating no Trinity. And they wasn't debating none of that. They wasn't talking about, the virgin birth, Joseph. They wasn't doing none of that asinine jackassery that niggas like to do. Them boys were preaching the gospel to people, man. And that's what we looked at last night. Who has been drawn from the breast and weaned from the milk. That he calls them to understand tidings. Because if you on milk, guess what that means you is? You unskillful in the word. We'll take it back, and we were talking about Ezra, who's a skilled scribe. And if you're going to be an elder, guess what you have to be? Can't be a novice. You're going to have to be skilled. Oh, you talking about yourself? I'm aware.
I'm asking my parents, is he talking about me?
You a skilled scribe? My man. What we have with it? John 15?
Mm-hmm.
How long you been skilled?
Like 16 days.
Oh, you're still a rookie. You ain't got through your first season yet. My man. John 15 and 18. If the world hates you, you know that it hated me before you. If you were of the world would love his own. Because you are not of the world, I've chosen you out of the world. Therefore, the world hates you. Remember that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. And if they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. And if they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin. But now they have no cloak for their sin. He that hate me, hate my Abba also. If I had not done among them the works which none other man did, they had not had sin. But now they have both seen and hated both me and my Abba. But that the word might be fulfilled that is written in their law, they hated me without a cause. But notice he said they hated him because what? They don't know God. Because if they knew God, they would behave in a certain type of way. But what do we read in Jeremiah 9? Why they didn't know God? Because of deceit. And what's the main aspect of that deceit? It's your heart lying to you. But see, that's that deceit causes me to have this segue. But let me go back to Philippians, make sure I ain't got nothing before I go to this segue. You wouldn't have nothing in your nose if you sat down. I'm going to come back on the aspect of being filled with the fruits of righteousness. Let me come over here to this 2 Thessalonians for this segue. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, I pick it up at verse 1 on the house. Everything contained in what we're about to read is not my laser focus. If you recall where I started at last night, that's my laser focus. Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach and our gathering together unto him. What y'all doing to that boy? That you may not be soon shaken in mind or be troubled, neither by ruach, nor by word, nor by letter as from us, as at the day of Mashiach is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of destruction. So before the man of sin is revealed, there has to be a falling away. What is that falling away? What is that? Yes. The falling away is not the world falling away. The falling away is people who profess to be in the faith. Shalom, Sister Kelly. Turning from the word. Falling away, if you remember, is apostasy, or the English word would be apostasy. A falling away, a defection, a forsaking, a defection from the truth. Where can you see apostasy in your law? Let's start there.
Number 16.
Yeah, you can see apostasy in the law when the people were ready to go back to Egypt. That's a turning from the truth. That's apostasy. That was a great falling away. You know what I'm talking about? You can see it all through the prophets. I mean, shoot, ain't which one? Where do you want to start? You know what I'm saying? To a smaller degree, you can look at what Solomon did as an apostasy because he turned from the truth. Yes, that's how you know the pressure going. Right now, ain't no falling away because shoot, these niggas ain't own nothing to fall away from.
What you say before? Every time of the flood with Noah, because he was a preacher.
No, because the people was already wasn't on that to begin with. Yeah, by the time Noah got rose up, boy, them niggas were too far gone. Yeah, they were too far gone. You gotta realize, boy, that they were wild in a long time before Noah even started preaching, which is another instance to the Lord teaching the apostles son when he say Noah was a preacher of righteousness. It don't say that in there in Genesis 9, 8, or 7, or 6 when it pertains to that with him. The same way he mentioned, Jude mentioned about them, Michael contending over Moses' body. That's not, and some people, well, it's written here, it's written there, and that could be the case, but it also could be something that the Lord gave them that's not written nowhere. Hey, you know, as he says in a couple places, man, he say, seal that up, man. It ain't for you to know. One of the aspects, and I know this is just human curiosity, that you feel like you're entitled to know every piece of information about everything. And if you can't readily find it, then you feel like, well, there's something wrong. But let me tell you something. I guarantee you your mom and daddy didn't tell you every damn thing. I guarantee you that. They told you what you needed to know as it pertained to you. This don't pertain to you, so you don't need to know that. That's why David said, I don't exercise myself in matters too high for me. This means he didn't believe that he was entitled to have to be in on everything. Now, there ain't nothing wrong with learning and wanting no understanding, but we're talking about a thought process of, hey, man, some things are above your pay grade, and you know what? That's okay. That's okay. Does it make your parents any less valid because you ain't know everything they had going on? Say, well, the Most High follows his own principle. Like he said in Malachi, don't tell your wife everything. And that is the truth, because that's what he said. That's Michael. He said, keep your tongue from the wife of your bosom. But I've been told you that, man. You can't tell your wife everything, man. You's a damn fool if you tell your wife everything. You got to have wisdom on, you know, what you got to tell. But shoot, you ain't supposed to tell her everything. Book tell you that a fool pour out his whole brain. Say it wasn't your business, and knowing wasn't going to change anything. So what? Niggas just be wanting to know stuff just to know. You know why you want to know? Because you're going to go tell your people business because you talk too damn much. Yeah, man. My daddy got chlamydia. Mama car finna get repossessed. She said she don't know what she don't do. Yeah, you want to know this stuff, and you finna go tell your people business. Ain't got no solution. You ain't got nothing to offer. You can't give no comfort or nothing. What I'm telling you for? Besides the fact of, why would I want to add unnecessary stress on you that you don't even have the mental and emotional capabilities to handle? That sounds about right. Let me burden the child with adult responsibilities and concerns.
Yes, I just got fired.
Yeah, son, I just got fired last week. Got to go down to the unemployment. Now, some things now you have to tell your son, if, damn, daddy, you've been home every day for the last 4 days. You know, Jit need to know what's going on. You sitting on the couch scratching your booty. Go ahead and tell that little boy what's going on, man.
No.
You don't want him to draw his own conclusions. You know what I'm talking about? You say, what your daddy do? Scratch his butt and sniff it? You been home for 5 days. He just been sitting there looking at, he ain't shaved or nothing. It looked like he took a bath. Now everybody looking at your daddy funny. You know what I'm saying? Y'all heard that clip that lady say? I play y'all. She lady say she went in the grocery store. Dude was looking at her. He said, "Yeah, you look like one." He said, "Do I know you?" She said, "Look like you wanted the father of my kids." She said he went to cycling in his mind. The times he done cheated on his wife. She was like, "Oh, were you one of the strippers at my bachelor party when I had sex with her on the pool table and everybody was watching?" She was like, "No, sir. Your son's one of my students." Hey, nasty nigga. I don't even understand the aspect of going to a bachelor party and having sex with a stripper before you get married. What was the point of that?
They would say to get the last one.
My God.
No.
Last day of being a free man.
You,
I'm going to jail.
well, now you're finna be in bondage to a venereal disease. And why is you having sex with a circle of people around you watching?
He hallucinated, brother.
That's
There's
disgusting.
nobody.
That's
See
disgusting.
nobody.
They all told about it later.
That's disgusting. That is disgusting. That's absolutely disgusting. You know what I'm saying? That's why you better talk to your kids. There's some nasty people out here. That's how you know that's old Gentile custom talking about a bachelor party. And you doing all this old freaky deaky. Here we gonna have a bachelor party. Don't take me to no damn strip club, man. I'm not finna be wasting no money with no strippers. Shoot, y'all could have all this money you threw at the strippers, you could have gave to me for my wedding. Hell, you mean, man? You see them white folks and Indian people wedding, them people come through dropping bands off on them people. Nigga come through, give you a hug. Don't give me no goddamn hug. Boy, I done seen some of that stuff, man. Look here, man. Man, them white folks walk out, man. Them people have been got 10, 20, 30, 40 bands. Yeah, them people dropping bread off. They know if 100 people come through, man, they know at least somebody finna leave $20. That's the least you can do. I'm finna feed you niggas. You niggas ain't have to pay nothing. I seen some people charge for their wedding. Ain't nobody showed up. You know, black folks.
Yeah, you gotta do reverse psychology on the black niggas.
But I ain't gonna lie though. A sister was just had this conversation with me. She was that's definitely backers indeed. She was talking about why don't brews be wanting to have some type of marriage ceremony. I'm like, shoot, because niggas poor. I'm like, that junk expensive. She said, not if you have a big wedding. I said, you can have a small one. You gonna pay 5 bands at least. I'm like, you know how much money it costs to feed 50 to 100 people? That's where all the money going. The catering and the venue. You ain't paying nothing for no suit. The bigger the venue, the bigger the ticket. The more people coming, man, look at, man, you talking about $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. Man, if you had to charge for that, y'all shouldn't have had no wedding. Where her dad at? Because she should have been paying for it. That's what I told her. She was like, why they don't want to do it? Because some people will say we could keep this money and build our life with it instead of throwing this party. Head start. So that's all it is. I'm paying you to come party with me. The least you can do is bring a car, put some money in it. Within 5 years, y'all Lee could drop a bed in the car, man. Well, I seen one, boy, that white dude, boy, they walked away with 40 racks. I don't know who paid for the wedding. You know what I'm talking about? Like you said, them Italians, they coming through. If they real deal Sicilian Italian, don't be no mobster. Yeah, you might walk away with almost 100. Because they coming through with them cars. They ain't even no car walk up to you. Here you go. Black folks go, oh, congratulations. Y'all got some foil? Nah, nigga. I'm taking that goddamn plate with you. Left me some goddamn money, what you should have did. Yeah, you don't drink up all my liquor talking about, you know what I'm saying? Whole time when you get in the car, them niggas ain't gonna last. Nasty bastard. You still should have left some money. Girl, you seen her dress? Her back fat was hanging out. Yeah, they don't talk about me when you leave. Talk about me right now. That's how I know it's real. That's how I know you're my friend. If you rank on me while I'm standing right here, I know you're my friend. Don't wait to get in the car talk about how my dress look. Talk about my back fat right here. You ain't no real friend. I'm gonna tell you, boy, that suit small on you, boy.
Should have got it tailored.
Should have got it tailored. That's how I know you my friend. You talk about me when you leave, you ain't my friend. You supposed to give me them jokes while I'm here. You know what I'm talking about for real? Shoot, I remember that time where Lil E jumped in the car. I said, "Where you going, ball, boy?" Pat boy, like, man, why you did that, man? He's sensitive about that. Man, I know this nigga since we were 10. Give a damn. Got this big old bald spot on his head. Say we used to be better than that? Yeah, we did. It's unfortunate now. Hey, what's all y'all? What y'all doing to each other, man? That boy been crying for 40 minutes. You doing a piss poor job of getting him there. I think y'all abusing that boy. Get that boy. That boy don't want no bottle. That boy want a titty. Eric said he probably crying now because he tired of crying. You know what I'm saying? He ain't lying.
Because I wish this pain would stop.
I wish he would go away. Hey, sit your behind down somewhere. Stop prancing around. Here, man. Verse 4, 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2. Yeah, I have to look into that, man. Emma, you got any sources on that where bachelor and bachelorette party come from? Because I wouldn't doubt that they come from a Bacchus tradition. Because that's weird. That's weird. I ain't never thought about it till just now. Because I ain't never had no thought about it. Yes, ma'am. I never thought about that being it wasn't nothing tangible for me, nothing to do. I'm not going to be spending no money on no party. Yeah, I ain't doing none of that. What's the other party y'all be having? A bridal shower. That's what y'all be having. Shower. You want a nigga to shower with you with gifts. You want me to give you some gifts at the bridal shower, then come to the wedding and bring some more gifts. Nigga, you get one. Like Christmas. Better pick the best one. Sparta. You know what they were doing. They wasn't rubbing on no women. Say the word bachelor comes from Bacchus, I believe. My God, today. Let's look up the etymology. Because now I'm yeah, it's got to, because you got bachelor degrees and all that stuff, so that's definitely coming from Bacchus. Yep. Bachelor originates from the medieval Latin word baccalaureus. Yeah, because they say what they call it, a baccalaureate. They know what they call it. Old Bacchus. Damn, you graduating, you old Bacchus nigga. Golly. Yeah, because I know the what you call it, the cap. Emma dropped one on it. The cap. You know, that's the square. That's for Masons. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. The black gown is for Masons too. See, they ask you to flip it because that's the, you crossing over the sands and all that other weirdo stuff. It's originally referred to low-ranking knights, particularly those who were not yet old enough to have their own vassals or banner. Over time, the meaning expanded to include junior members of guilds and eventually unmarried men. So the original term for bachelor had nothing to do with an unmarried man. It had something to do with soldiers and men of educational degrees. In the context of education, it now refers to a student who has passed the first stages of their studies. Its feudal systems, baccalaureate denoted someone of low rank. So dang, if you were a bachelor, you're a man of low rank, potentially a young knight or a vassal farmer. In knighthood, the term bachelor was associated with young knights who were still training, serving under another lord, essentially apprentices in knighthood. Now it says the old French baclaire, presumably derived from the Provençal baccalaureate and the Italian baccalaureate, but the ultimate source of the word is uncertain. The proposed medieval Latin baccalaureus, vassal field hand, It's only attested late enough that it may be derived from vernacular languages, rather than from the Southern French and Northern Spanish Latin. Bachelorette. The term bachelorette is sometimes used to refer to a woman who's never been married. The traditional female equivalent to bachelor is a spinster. Now, I've heard the word spinster before, and it was always in a negative sense, and I think that's what it's about to say, which is considered pejorative and implies unattractiveness, i.e. old maid, cat lady. The term bachelorette has been used in its place, particularly in context of the bachelorette parties and the reality TV show. Y'all ever heard the word spinster before? Yeah, I definitely heard that word before. Let me see what Emma got here for. Yeah, spinster, they're basically saying, yeah, she's an old woman who can't get no man. So it say, drinking games, strippers, phallic party favors. Y'all been at bachelor parties with phallic favors? Well, if y'all call yourself a lady, you walked in there and they have facsimile phalluses in there, you supposed to turn around. What type of friends you got where y'all finna play fake wee-wee games? And y'all was in there playing them too. Because I guarantee you not finna go to no man party with, what you call it? With vagina cupcakes and all. Ain't nobody finna be doing all that. Y'all know man, I done seen too many ladies have parties and they got facsimile phallus games they in there playing. Ain't no dudes in there finna be doing none of that stuff. Yeah, let's get a coochie cake. No. See who can eat it the fastest. Come on, man. He said at that point, I could have just went home. Bridal showers have their place in pre-marriage celebrations in some form or another since at least as early as the 15th century. But the history of the bawdy bachelorette party we know today is not a long one. The Spartans held parties for their to-be-wed friends consisting of a dinner and a toast. The term bachelor first comes into popular use as describing an unmarried man thanks to Geoffrey Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. I remember that book. A stag party, oh my Lord, thrown by Herbert Barnum Seeley in 1896 for his brother is raided by the police after hearing rumors that a nude belly dancer would be performing. In 1922, the first documented use of the term bachelor party in a Scottish publication, Chambers Journal of Literature, Science, and Arts. 40 years go by, and in this time, women hold bridal showers when their female friends and family shower the bride with gifts and ultimately prepare the bride for the gender norms associated with the role of a wife. Times were changing, and by the 1960s, the sexual revolution was in full swing, and brides-to-be were embracing their sexuality and swapping bridal showers for rowdy bachelorette parties. The term bachelorette party would become popular into the 80s. The bachelorette party once claimed to be the last hurrah and final night of freedom for the bride. I'm gonna tell you, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll read the other sources. We need to get back to what we were reading. Hold on, and we got this here. In ancient Greece, the day before marriage was known as the proulia. The bride, along with her mother and other women, would make offering and sacrifices to appease the gods who might see fit to ruin the day, especially Artemis, the goddess of chastity and childbirth. That's amazing. But I'm gonna tell you something. If you finna get married and you like, oh, this is my last day of freedom, you don't need to marry her. I'll tell you that right now. You don't need to marry her. I ain't even saying that to be funny. Hell, if you look at that man and be like, that's the last day of freedom, you don't need to marry him. If you look at that as you finna go into bondage, now you got a police officer out the cake. He ain't got nothing but a sock on.
There's a fire in here, man.
I heard it's a fire in your drawers. I come to extinguish it. That's my last day of freedom. I ain't getting married. I feel like that. I promise you. I wouldn't even do it. You talking like that? I ain't been. So I'm Abraham's seed. I ain't been in bondage to any man. That's wild, though. It's at the wild that you look at that you approaching that with that thought process. Seriously. I mean, I'm cracking jokes somewhere, but dead seriously though. You approaching that process like this is the loss of your freedom. Like when you referring to freedom, and it's the thing, when dudes say referring to freedom, they not talking about having sex with other women. They talking about their whole life gone. Now I got to have a house decorated the way I don't want. I got to do this and do that and do this and man, I'm not doing. Why even shoot? Stay at the house by yourself. I done seen dudes buy a whole house and talking about he got to have a man cave because his wife took over the house. You're lying to me. This whole house my cave. Nigga ain't finna isolate me over here because you want to. But have your woman cave. I done heard men say that. He know what I'm talking about. Whether his wife done told him, no, you got to have it, your space over here. You can do it how you want. And I'm paying for it. Oh, hell no. Not a she said. That's right. That was etymology, appropriate. But that's how I do. Because the dude was complaining about how before he got with his old lady, he had a simplistic lifestyle. And now she come in and he's spending money to decorate this and decorate that. And he don't want none of that in his house. Then nigga, you should have said no. What's so hard about that? I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't care. But I don't want that. But it'll look, okay, I don't want that. Because you know how dudes know that? Because what's the first thing if somebody, you got some dudes, they like to decorate their house. And if a dude decorate his house and women walk in his house, the first thing somebody say is, a woman must live here. Because the dudes will have a couch and a television, he good. He don't need none of that extra stuff. I ain't here anyway. I'm at work, I'm coming in here, I'm going to sleep. And some dudes don't. Some dudes won't, they junk laid because they really whores. You know what I'm saying? You want a nice place for that woman to feel comfortable so they can do their fornication.
That's the cover up.
That's the cover up. He really don't care about that, but he want her to feel comfortable so he can fornicate. I'm just telling you the truth. No, you got some dudes that they into that.
No, I just think what Cat Williams said. I don't got silk pillows for me. They got it for the job.
Yeah, so he can fornicate. You think he got all this in here, laid in here, nice ambiance, because he really care about that? Some dudes do. I'm not saying that dudes don't. Some dudes do. But most of them is so they can fornicate. That boy say he getting a lawn chair and an air mattress and a TV and calling it a day till it's time to move. My God, today, I think I'd get a bed.
Because
the last thing I want to be doing, wake up in the middle of the night and the air came out the mattress. I got to pump that whole back up. You know what I'm talking about? I'm be mad as hell. I done slept on the air mattress, boy. Boy, that air come out of there, boy, your back gonna be hurting in the morning, boy.
Yeah, what you don't do is you gotta let that down there.
Yeah, because when me and Nell was staying at my cousin townhouse, we had king size air mattress. That when Leah was a baby. I didn't even know they made air mattresses that big. The 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 4. But I was, man, I ain't gonna lie, boy. That time was moving, but that was 12 years ago, boy. Leah was crawling then. She couldn't even talk. So every time I go to do something, she think I'm finna leave her behind. She on her horse. And she would stop right at the doggone linoleum in the kitchen because it was carpet in the kitchen. She ain't like to crawl on that. Nigga looking like, you got me. I ain't going no further. Verse 4. Who oppose and exalt himself above all that is called Elohim, or that is worship, so that he is Elohim, sitting in the temple of Elohim, showing himself that he is Elohim. Remember you not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now you know that what withhold that he might reveal in his time. For the mystery of iniquity do already work. Now, it's been a long time since we talked about that. The mystery of iniquity. You remember what that means? If you don't, I'm going to share it with you. Now, when you got iniquity here, that is on omie. the condition of without law, contempt and violation of law, iniquity, wickedness, transgression of the law, unrighteousness. So you have the secret of unrighteousness or the secret of wickedness. Now let me ask y'all this and of course, mystery is mysterion, hidden thing, secret, mystery, hidden purpose, or counsel. So the hidden counsel of wickedness or unrighteousness. He said it is already worked.
Mm-hmm.
When did it start?
Come on, Johnny.
Johnny in the back. Doris. When did it start? Huh? That's your favorite song? It's the mystery of iniquity. You be singing it in the car, but you don't rap it, dude. You don't even know what I'm talking about.
Got long hair.
You say it started with Eve in the garden. You put your soul on it. Because you fighting devil niggas daily. Damn, you wouldn't put your soul on the word of God? That's tough. Nah, he ain't did nothing wrong. He ain't did not damn thing wrong. He said, I'm gonna let my yay be yay. My nay be nay. He ain't did nothing wrong. Yeah, that's where it started at. The hidden purpose of counsel of unrighteousness and wickedness started in the garden. He said, because he said it's already been working. This ain't something that old Satan popped up on the scene with something new. It's been starting from the beginning. Verse 7, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. For the mystery of iniquity do already work. Only he who now let until he be taken out of the way. The next thing you see where the mystery of iniquity working is when Lamech say, I killed the man. To where you get to Cain killing a man. To where you get to them corrupting the way of Yahuwah. But remember, it's a hidden purpose of counsel. So, of course, you know Satan is deceitful. He moved clandestinely. You know what I'm talking about? So, and the purpose of moving clandestinely, that's where his hidden purpose of counsel of wickedness is done at, which is why Paul states in another place that we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. You know, we talked about that a few weeks back, and Satan's devices ain't that crafty. One of his devices, to be 100% honest with you, is strife and contention, deception and accusation and slander. Reason why I say that is because what does the devil mean? Slanderer, whisperer. What does Satan mean? Accuser. You know what I'm talking about? Adversary. And then, you know, you got serpent. That's got a different meaning. Hey, why y'all playing? Find your mom and daddy. Because you think somebody playing with you. Yeah, Nakash is the Hebrew word for serpent. But I don't think it has an adjective in its meanings. You know, image of a serpent, serpent, snake, fleeing serpent. Now, of course, snakes are synonymous with other things as far as imagery is concerned, but that's not what we're trying to focus on at the moment. What we focus on is just the literal aspect of what the devil and Satan means, because he's called what? That old serpent, Satan, and the devil. You know what I'm talking about? So when you look at that, what that means, and again, this is another opportunity to mention, that's how you know that Lucifer would have to be separate. You can't be a slanderer and an adversary and a liar and be a bearer of light at the same time. Because if you bring forth light, guess what you do? If you're a light bearer, what are you doing? No, you make it manifest. If you telling lies, are you making manifest? No. And what he said that the wicked don't want to do, come to the light, lest they what? Deeds should be reproved. So if light make manifest, light makes correction. And he says, speak according to this word. If they don't have no what? Light in them. And Elohim is light and no part darkness. So if you walking around and he say you have your father the devil and the lust of your father you will do, because he's a what? A liar from the beginning. Well, liars don't make manifest, they cast darkness. You know why they cast in darkness? Because they don't want to be made plain what it is that they're doing. But that's another conversation for another day. You know, I think we talked about that a while back, that's not one of the titles that's used to describe the serpent. Mm-hmm. He don't use that name to describe him. If that name was synonymous with him, he would have used it to describe. Let me read the Revelation 12. I think somebody might be thinking I'm making something up. 12 and 4. That ain't 12 and 4. 12 and 9, I'm sorry. And that great dragon, or that great serpent, was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil and Hashatan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast into the earth, and his Malachim were cast out with him. Now again, Satan means adversary. I'll tell you what the devil means in case you didn't know. Diablos, prone to slander, slanderous, accusing falsely, a culminator, a false accuser, a slanderer. Metaphorically applied to a man who, by opposing the cause of God, may be said to be act the part of the devil or to side with him, a traducer. Are any of y'all familiar with the word culminator or traducer? No? It's always a good day to help your vocabulary expand. You know about a traducer, Callie? When you're dealing with a traducer, that's a person who attacks another person's reputation by making false or malicious statements, effectively slandering or defaming them. Essentially a slanderer or a libel. You know what libel is, right? You know what libel is?
When you like slander, basically.
You sure? Spell it.
Libel.
That boy, that good, bro. Boy, that good. Boy, that boy been reading. That boy was paying attention in class. It means to say untrue or malicious things about someone, defame them, or slander them. It can also mean to make mockery of someone or betray them. Now, that's the word, that's the definition for traducer that I'm more familiar with, is that you are a betrayer. It is someone who's engaged in the act of traducing as a noun. The first one I read was as a verb, meaning they're a slanderer, a culminator, or someone who attacks another's reputation. Words like backbiter, which is familiar because you see that in the text, defamer, libeler, maligner, slanderer, vilifier, depreciator, detractor, and disparager can be used to describe a traducer. That's how you want to throw somebody up. They say a nigga lying on you, stop being a traducer, ho. You know what I'm saying? Throw them off. Use words they ain't used to hearing. Some people be like this here, that's a big word. That's not a big word. You know, a lot of people think certain words be big words, but the reality is they're just not words that are commonly used in conversation. That's why I always tell you, look up your synonyms, man. Use other words versus the words that everybody uses. Huh? You finna whoop it? You hit that boy? There's something wrong with you, children, today. Now, a culminator is the same thing. A person who slanders or defames. They spread false and damaging statements about them. Essentially, it's someone who makes malicious accusations or lies that harm someone's reputation. The verb form, culminate, means to slander or falsely accuse. The noun form refers to an individual who performs this act of slander. Other words for culminator, again, are slanderer, defamer, detractor, deprecator. If someone spreads false rumors about another person to damage their reputation, they are a culminator. In essence, a culminator is someone who uses malicious and false statements to harm the reputation of another. This is the spirit of the devil. So when you see an individual who is making false accusations or trying to damage another's reputation, he is the devil. And you know where you can see that at? Because that's what Satan did to Job when he stepped to the throne and said, I bet if you do this here, he'll curse you to his face. He was a culminator. He was trying to disparage this man in the conversation. This is how you don't be ignorant of Satan's devices, because God don't do that. What the verse I was thinking in my brain? Man? Oh, Leviticus 19, where you can see your law tell you not to do that. Again, this is how you determine between what? Good and evil. If you ain't got your senses exercised to be, you know what is some of the dumbest things that people do in their life, man? Somebody come tell you about something about somebody and you believe it. I'm talking about malicious and harmful statements about an individual. You don't got no facts. You ain't got no information. You just believe it. You know what I'm talking about? You say that's why in John 5 he says, think not that I accuse you to the most. Yeah, the law doing. He said, I don't accuse you. That's exactly why he said that. He said, you have one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. The Lord didn't walk around and accuse nobody, because that's not what God do. He's not an accuser. So when you run across somebody who accusing people of doing stuff all the time, well, that nigga got the spirit of the devil in him. I've been telling you that for years, though. You got to look at the behavior. Look at the behavior of you who, again, right? We're talking about the difference between good and evil, right? So that you can make right judgment, so you can abound. So when you see the character of God, what would you see? Mercy, grace, long suffering. I mean, they slow to wrath. They're forgiving. Mm-hmm. They execute justice and judgment. They speak and do those things that are right. They show mercy. They show compassion. They show love and kindness, and they forgive people for their transgressions. They do not point out sin. When I say point out sin, meaning they go find you and say you this and you that. You know what I'm talking about? They speak against sin unless your sin is being exposed, and then you playing the role of a hypocrite. They point that out. Where do you see the Lord just walking around randomly pointing out people's sins? You know the only sins of the people he pointed out? The scribes. When he spoke in what? In a broad term for everybody to repent. When he pulled up on Zacchaeus, he didn't say Zacchaeus was doing this and doing that. He said that man also a son of Abraham. Should he not be saved? Because what did the man say? We didn't come to destroy men's lives. We came to save them. So when you find a nigga that he did, I've been told you that. A nigga who go looking for sins. What do I mean by that? All y'all done seen it. Whether you've been in here or another church or another whatever, you done seen where there be people in there looking for sins on other people. God don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So when you got a nigga looking for sins so they could catch somebody up, that's the devil. When you see a nigga, they always accusing somebody of something and it's false. That's why Jacob say, I'm going to let my righteousness speak for me. If you know you done did what you supposed to do, just sit back and be cool. Yahuwah will vindicate you. Whether it take 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 10 years, just sit back. Yahuwah will vindicate you. And guess what he'll also do? He'll let you be there when the nigga who was lying on you was there so they could see you being vindicated. They was a funky dog-faced lie. You ain't got to do nothing but be easy. It's certain attributes that the people of God don't do. If a nigga messy, that's not God. That's nigga stuff. That's Satan. Satan messy. You know why Satan messy? Because that's where confusion get caught at. And what did the book say? He's not the author of confusion. I mean, he's not the author of disorder. What is disorder? It's dysfunction. Let's look at dysfunction by definition. Man, y'all back there abusing the baby. Dysfunctional by meaning not operating normally or properly. What does dysfunctional mean in a person? Any impairment, disturbance, or deficiency in behavior. Synonyms for dysfunctional: broken, debilitated, decayed, defective, deteriorated, inhibited, maladjusted, malfunctional, sick, undermined, unfit, wounded. And it's about 60 more, but I'm going to leave that there. Let's see what the white people definition of messy is, because we know what the nigga definition is. Say you untidy or dirty. But this is a nice definition. Confused and difficult to deal with. So if somebody is messy, they're confused and difficult to deal with. That's right. Filthy and chaotic. Now that's wild, ain't it? That's what we need to start telling niggas if you messy. Yo, difficult nigga. Hold on. Situational messiness. Confusion. The situation is complex, difficult to understand, potentially problematic. Unpleasantness, troublesome, stressful, undesirable. Lack of clarity. They lack clear definition, purpose, or outcome. Messy signifies a state of disarray or a lack of order, often implying something undesirable or troublesome. So a messy nigga is troublesome, not Pop Troublesome 96. You know that song? You know that song? So you mean to tell me I'm the only nigga in this room that know about Troublesome 1996? Nigga talk a lot of trash, but that's after I'm gone because they feel me in the physical form? I just said.
No, Tupac.
That's the name of the song. They say, you know me, a born leader, never leave the block without my heater. I got 2 big pits. I call him my Mitch nigga eater. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, this came out after he died. I'm talking about immediately after he died. I forgot y'all niggas was still peeing in the pot. I forgot about that. I'm sorry. I apologize. Now, if you're disorderly, you're again in a state of confusion. Let's continue. He might have did perform it at the House of Blues, but I'm talking about like his fourth is when the Machiavelli mixtapes came out, that came out right after he died. Because that was definitely on Machiavelli 2, first quote. No, you know, when he died, you had the Machiavelli, but then the album, then it was Machiavelli 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we were listening to all that. You know, y'all was still PPing in the pot. It was 1996. How old you were? Lil Johnny, how old you was in 1996? I was 2. What you was hitting on in 1996? Them niggas finna get ready to go to Head Start. Yeah, that nigga died on Fat Boy birthday. Literally. Yeah, that was his favorite rapper. Nah, he didn't do all that. He smoked the blunt.
To me, it's an emotional attachment.
Yeah, his favorite rapper at that time was Pop, Scarface, and Snoop. Snoop fell off when Dogfather came out because it was trash. And we had done the party by then. It wasn't no coming back. It wasn't no coming. I mean, it wasn't no coming back. We didn't hear that. Man, that Dogfather was so bad. You out here. That junk bad. Not bad meaning good, but bad meaning trash.
Yeah, I think I'll never get that spoon at all.
Shoot, he ain't missed nothing. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 16. You shall not go up and down as a talebearer among your people, neither shall you stand against the blood of your neighbor. I am Yahuwah. What is a talebearer? Oh, that's mine. Oh, she don't pee in my bed. You sound upset. Talebearer is Rakil, a slanderer, an informer, one who carries tales. That was your song right there. Now I know you know that song, Informer. I know you know that song with the white boy. So you don't know the song Informer with white boy with a reggae song. Hey, I gotta play it for you. Hold on, I'll play it right now. Dang, man. Y'all don't know about Snow? Hey, man, y'all niggas doing this song right here. Well, you can't hear it because I got the thing on. I'll wait till it's over. Yeah, he was a Canadian fake Jamaican. I can't lie. What that was? I just said it was 1994. Dang, you don't remember that from In Living Color when Jim Carrey did the skit? Damn! Not even on the reruns? You didn't appreciate In Living Color? This nigga ain't black. Lord have mercy. You around here watching Saturday Night Live, but you don't like In Living Color. In Living Color before they time. Then you don't know Homie the Clown either. That's one of Damon Wayans' best characters. I don't give a damn about Martin. You ain't seen In Living Color.
I see like when J-Lo and I see.
Nisha like The Living Color. She younger than you. A Living Color is probably one of the greatest sketch comedy shows ever done. And there's a few because you had Carol Burnett sketch comedy show, and that done with decent, old white people comedy from the 70s. Flip Wilson had a sketch comedy show. Richard Pryor had a sketch comedy show. Richard Pryor's sketch comedy show was hilarious. Yeah, his joke was hilarious. Then, of course, you got A Living Color, Mad TV. And Mad TV was going head up against Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live, the only one left. Saturday Night Live, trash, man. Yeah, because we're Chappelle show was sketch comedy. But the difference is that Living Color was taped. Saturday Night Live is live. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, when Living Color was out, man, them was all young. That's what Jim Carrey, David Allen Greer, Tommy Davidson. That's where they got their start at. I didn't give a damn about J-Lo. She wasn't no comedian. I was just with dancing. I ain't no star, man. Ain't nobody tuned in to look at J-Lo. She didn't nobody know who she was. Yeah, that's what Jamie for. Man, we tuning in for the comedy. Them niggas was hilarious. Yeah, like Jessica just said, you got Fire Marshal Bill. You know what I'm saying? Blank Man. Or I know Handyman, the handicap nigga. Man, that nigga's a comedic genius, man. Now, Saturday Night Live had a lot of people whose careers were started from that, because that's where Eddie Murphy came from. What's the white boy that died, man? Chris Farley, David Spade, Adam Sandler, Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock. I just seen somebody wrote a clip. You ever seen The Ladies Man? Well, you ain't ever seen The Ladies Man? I don't even watch movies, and I done seen The Ladies Man. You seen Ladies Man? Ladies Man is hilarious, nigga. The chick Karen Parsons who played on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and I can't remember the black dude name from Jessica said y'all too young. He said got offended at the mention of J. Ain't nobody worrying about no J-Lo. Ain't nobody turning to Living Color and say let's see J-Lo. Because she was a dancer. Nobody cared. Nobody knew who she was. Nigga trying to see Jim Carrey. Damon Wayans. Tommy, man, she was a hey-ho back then. Tim Meadows, yeah, that's his name. They did. Yeah, they did. They got that from Saturday Night Live because Saturday Night Live been doing it for decades. That's right. She said J-Lo became famous when she played Selena. No, she did, because nobody knew who she was as a dancer. And then all of a sudden, she talking about, I'm real. No, you ain't hoe. You just a hoe. You a hoe, you hoe. She Jenny from the block. Don't be worrying about the rocks that she got. That was your song, huh? Let me get this lead powder here so we can get out of here. I gotta pace myself. These are different. Verse 7, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. She did do Money Train. Because she said when she had intimate scenes with Wesley Snipes that he was physically aroused and it made her uncomfortable. She tried to accuse him of some type of sexual impropriety. I mean, but I could understand that. I mean, as professional as you could want to be, if you're in an intimate scene with a woman who you're going to find attractive and you're simulating coitus, you're probably going to get aroused. Yeah. I can't remember what that Asian lady name was, Eric, man. Said her movie career is equally disgraceful to her music career.
That boy said they don't even playing field.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Misha say the vocals was Ashanti's though on that real song and some other songs too. They painted J-Lo. That show it sounded like Ashanti too.
Sit down. No, somebody's in there. Go sit down.
Yeah, down here, this sounded like Ashanti too. Because at least Ashanti can sing.
Yeah.
Man, you the only nigga in niggerdom listening to J-Lo. Probably went and bought the album. It's fire.
That's fine.
Say we didn't even know J-Lo was an extra in the Janet Jackson video. I definitely didn't know that. He just said, yeah, Ashanti did most of her vocals. And the other singer too. I ain't know who they had the other singer. But we knew J-Lo couldn't sing. Look at her. She look like she can sing to you. She can't sing or she can't act. All she was known for being a Puerto Rican and having a butt. Her butt wasn't even that big. You know what I'm talking about?
She was known for getting tough.
Nah, and she was known for coming to the awards with Diddy with a booty out.
You know she had to go through the gate.
But she was a good dancer. I won't take that from her. She was a good dancer. No, I mean, she had skill in that. If you got talent, you got talent. But she couldn't sing, though. You know, a singer get exposed every time when they got to go on that road. You know what I'm saying? You got to go in that venue. We can sing who can sing or not. She said she known for being Puerto Rican. You know what I'm saying? Nigga knew you go see Luther Vandross live, he can sing. You go see Whitney Houston live, she can sing. You go see Ciara live, you might be disappointed. Shoot, you lying to me. Shoot, she goes somewhere. Ticket selling. What else you going there for? Yeah, man, I'm not paying no $100 to see a nigga dance.
That's why they go to the strip. That's they go pay.
Shoot, you can cut a music video on for that. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7. Yeah, Leah couldn't sing either. That's what Barry just said. She was let down. She couldn't sing very well live either. We definitely heard those stories before she passed. But nobody cared because everybody loved Leah. They just say, hey, she can't sing.
She was a studio.
No, it's not that she couldn't sing per se. It's that she didn't have a strong voice to carry her live. You know what I'm saying? Like Mary J. Blige has a voice that can carry her live. Whitney Houston had a voice that could carry her live. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody gonna mistake Patti LaBelle from needing some studio magic. You know what I'm talking about? Mary J got strong vocals. She probably tired now because she got to be on the road to pay her ex-husband. But you know, She had strong vocals. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she old now. I'm talking about as far as career-wise. 30 years singing. Whoa, that's a long time.
Alicia Keys.
Alicia Keys got strong. She can sing. You know, some people, she got some people who got studio help.
Live.
Well, I mean, shoot, her voice might have died down. It don't stay like that forever.
They got 20 years in.
But that's the same thing. Lauren says she get on stage. She thought she had to come on with an immaculate sounding voice. Well, sometimes your voice ain't. Not today. Not today. No, it's just the fact of shoot. They vocal cords get tired. Shoot, you can't be belting out them tunes like that every night. And shoot, Ron Isley sing now sitting down. I told y'all no, y'all wasn't that. I saw that at Mama's step. That boy was sitting down and he was singing I forgot what song it was, but he was like it was about what that nigga name is. Bobby Womack. Yeah, he said Bobby Womack. I said, hell no. Bobby was smashing everybody, old lady, man. Hey, Bobby. 2 Thessalonians 2:7, so we can get out of here. Who that?
Oh, yeah.
Shoot, he probably can. Them type of hand pants he wear on. Nah, boy, I seen a GQ magazine of this man pants tighter than the average woman. No. These ain't 70 leather pants, man, and that's in the 70s. This 2025. You 75. That boy had extra skinny jeans on. That nigga nuts for done. He said it depend on the genetics because Aretha was and Patty and Gladys still sharp. Anita Baker still sharp. No, I'm talking about. That don't mean she. I'm talking about now as far as her voice being shoot. She old. I think she got a Vegas residency. You know what I'm saying? No, I ain't talking about in her prime. I'm talking about as far as now in their advanced age, and not just because they in an advanced age. I mean, shoot, man, singing live for 20, 30, 40 years, boy, that put stress on your vocal cords. All the everything else go along with it. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7. For the mystery of iniquity do already work. Only he now let until he be taken out of the way. Then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the ruach of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power, signs, and lying wonders. Now, we done talked about this so many times that I'm not going to go into that in great detail, but you can go read that in Daniel chapter 11. Of course, he's talking about the man of sin. In Daniel 11, it says to be the man who recognized the God of forces and will exalt himself. Let me just go ahead and read Daniel chapter 11. It might be somebody who don't know what I'm talking about. Daniel 11 and 36. And the king shall do according to his will. He shall exalt, this is Daniel 11 and 36, and shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every God. He shall speak marvelous things against the God of God, and shall prosper until the indignation be accomplished. For he that is determined shall be done. Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, nor the desire of women, nor regard any God, for he shall magnify himself above all. But it is in a state he shall honor the God of forces, a God whom his fathers knew not, shall he honor with gold, silver, and with precious stones and pleasant things. Thus shall he do in the most strongholds with a strange God, whom he shall acknowledge and increase with glory, and he shall cause them to rule over many and shall divide the land for gain. And then, of course, verse 45 tell you that he will plant his tabernacle in between the seas of the glorious mountain, and into that's where he will come to his end, and no one will help him. So it's other passages in Daniel, more specifically in Daniel 8, that speaks about how Satan will give him the power to do X, Y, Z. Dang. Barry said Aretha Franklin had the feds following her around till she died. Aretha was moving work. Man, they don't tell him what these people be involved in, man. She was from Detroit, so ain't no telling. You know, I read stories about her, man. They say, man, she got touched on young, had a child young, and say she was horn early. I said, I bet she was. Nigga been molested. But when you look at verse 8, right, the man of perdition does not get revealed till many people turn their back on the word. When these individuals turn their back on the word, then this wicked one will be revealed. And his coming in power is going to be after the adversary. Always remember, of course, Revelation tell you he'll work many signs and wonders. And Deuteronomy 13 tell you, I don't care if them signs and wonders come to pass. You better do what I told you to do. And that's where a lot of people get caught up at. Just because somebody perform a sign or wonder don't mean God with them. You know how we know this? Because he said right there in Matthew, we did many wonderful works in your name. And he gonna say, depart from me, you work of iniquity. I don't know you. He said, verse 10, with all deceivableness of unrighteousness and them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth that they might be saved. And for this cause Elohim shall send them a strong delusion that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. So we come in here to look at the part where he say he gonna cause them to believe a delusion. Delusion in Greek, plane, a wandering, a straying about, one led astray from the right way. Metaphorically, a mental strain, an error, a wrong opinion relative to morals or religion, an error showing itself in action, a wrong mode of acting. So when he sends you a strong delusion, you won't be able to have right rectitude or right mindset or right judgment. You're not going to be able to have it. Your judgment going to be wrong. Now, why is he sending you the strong delusion or error that leads into error, deceit, or fraud? Because you don't have a love for the truth. Now, let's go to Isaiah 66. Can any of you think of somebody in this book that got son a strong delusion that they should believe a lie? What delusion was it? Was that he didn't have a thought process David was trying to kill him?
Whatever the spirit was that had was to kill David.
No, he had an evil spirit sent to torment him.
He was still trying to kill David.
Well, that was out of jealousy. Well, he sought the familiar spirit because Yahuwah was not communicating with him anymore.
He was also, he went birthright.
When he went who?
He went birthright.
I think that was more so jealousy because it wasn't a delusion that caused him to sell it. Remember, he talking about I'm sending a strong delusion that you should believe a lie.
I don't think about the prophet.
Yeah, you know, we always got Ahab. Because that's who Omar just mentioned. So Ahab every time, because he literally said, I put a lying spirit in all your prophets' mouths.
That's about the two prophets that he sent out. They told him to go to that city. And one of them pretty much he believed.
Now, I give you that one there. That's the prophet in 1 Kings 13, if I'm not mistaken, who was told to not to eat in that place. And that prophet came with a strong delusion. And he caused him to stray. Now, look at it, because I gave you the definition of delusion. It means to stray. So this is somebody who's coming to you with information to get you off of where you're supposed to be going.
I can see what I saw. I'm thinking that he'll give somebody over.
Now, see, that's just reprobate. That's giving you over to your lust. Let me see what your end gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Now, David, that was David's lust that caused him to do that with Bathsheba. Oh, you got Rehoboam. He sat back and hollered at his homeboy. He got the counsel from the older men. He had the counsel from his younger men. And he went with the counsel of the young men because the young men caused him to go astray. That's why I say it's a lot of them. Remember, that's why I read the Greek definition of delusion, because it means a mental strain. So I didn't want us to get caught up on it's a spirit per se. Remember, he said, he that wander out of understanding will remain in the congregation of the dead. So a mental strain or straying or delusion ain't just coming in the form of the devil or some spirit. It could come in the form of flesh and blood when you supposed to be going straight, but they telling you to go left.
I'm not thinking
Yeah.
What about the,
you know what I'm saying?
that X-File, the Ananias and
Yeah. That's a delusion. See, remember, your heart could delude you. Your lust could delude you, and all you're gonna need. That's why you could go back to Genesis with Satan coming with the delusion because it caused a strain. The lust is already there, and it's going to cause you to go away from the faithfulness or the reliability of the word. That's the aspect of this 2 Thessalonians. Y'all willing on Wednesday, we gonna look. It's causing you to go this way, which is taking you away from the right rectitude, which is the proper judgment, and you're not going to be able to abound. Then the other part in Philippians, now you're not going to be able to have the fruits of righteousness be produced because you're going left when you. Not going from going right, because he say don't go to the right hand or to the left, go straight. Blowing them on off. They gonna fall on off. I'm going over here. I'm going over there. I'm going. See, everybody wants to fall in the way to be going to another religion. It's not necessarily going to another religion. You walking away completely from the. You turning your back on the covenant. Like what you read in Ezekiel, you got your back to the temple. You know what I'm saying? There's a way that seems right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. It's a lot of things. It's a homosexual thing. It's right for him to be with a man right now. I literally sent y'all a video where that dude was talking about y'all dudes transphobic. I don't care if that's a woman. Whatever that woman pull out, I'm going to suck it. I said, my God. Yeah. I said, good God. Because if I was dealing with somebody I thought was a woman and she pulled out a kibasa, I'm going to punch him in his mouth. What about me made you think I wanted that? I'm looking for a taco, not a sausage link.
Nigga done put a Roger Wood. But look,
looking for that. That's terrible. Cuz said it with so much confidence, but of course you can see that's an agenda to try to get. They're trying to convince men that being attracted to a trans woman, aka a man, that you're not gay because this man think he a woman, even though that's a man.
That's what the nigga. What is the singer? What that Yvonne? What was the singer that was talking about? He got gave him head talking about he ain't gay.
Oh, that's Tank.
Yeah, Tank. Yeah.
Tank say, man, you can give oral 3 times, man. He said after 3 times you're gay. I'm not making that up. That man said that on the radio. That man got on the radio and said that. That man said, you're not gay if you do that. You're only gay if you do it 3 times. So you were gay when you did it the first time. What did Ice-T say? The man say, I have relationships with women. I'm not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men. He said, I got news for you. That means you're gay. You know what I'm talking about? And I got news for you. You dealing with a trans woman, aka a man, cause you gay. You gay. Because you're having homosexual relations. You're not having heterosexual relations. It's not possible because that's a man. That is a man. That's the world. I'm mentioning it because that is a surefire sign of them. You know what's another sign I keep seeing videos of these people talking about? These women BBL stink. Yeah, they say, nah, the lady broke it down. She actually broke down what it is. I forgot what it's called. But when they take that fat, she said they put it in between the layer of skin and the muscle. So she say sometimes that fat cells die. I can't remember the name that it's called. But she says when those cells die, they give off an odor. Then she said, of course, now your buttocks is bigger than what it was before. So now you got sweat in areas that you didn't have to wash before. So now some of them are not washing their butt properly, so they stink. You know what I'm saying? Say one of my sisters has one. Hers don't smell. She said I was wondering if it was true. Now, some of them don't heal properly because remember, you're just taking fat from one place of your body and putting it in your glutes. So you know what I'm saying? This is not actual muscle tissue that is grown. So it's in between the fat and the muscle. So it's the same way that if you get an organ and your body rejects it, same thing. It's gonna go bad.
Get another. Possible.
You know what I'm saying? Because they were talking about it because they said allegedly at some show Cardi B's butt air was stank when she went to twerk. Cardi B. I don't know. That's and it was a lady who did a video talking about her BBL ruined her life because of the fat cells dying, and she was admitting a terrible odor, and she lost her boyfriend and a few other things because her butt stank. So
Get it removed.
yeah, but no, there was an actual doctor breaking that down. Like she said, a lot of times the odor comes from that a lot of them women don't give themselves proper time to heal. So a lot of them fat cells go to dying.
So how would they keep the fat cells alive?
If they have to heal properly, like it said, somebody got to get massages and all this other type of stuff, so that it basically blends in with the fat that is actually supposed to be
enough money for the surgery, not the recovery.
So I can see that. Yeah, you walk around here, your butt need to be drained, you leaking butt fluid everywhere. It's unfortunate. I ain't had nothing else. That's all I could come up with. Because I don't know how you describe. I don't know if that's pus. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? She said you can smell the fat through the cracks. Shoot, they say you can smell the fat, the fat through the clothes. But all jokes aside, like if you got cells dying in your body, it's gonna emit an odor. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna emit an odor. Isaiah 66:3. He that killeth an ox is if he slew a man. He that sacrificed a lamb is if he cut off a dog's neck. He that offered oblation is if he offered swine's blood. He that burned incense is if he blessed an idol. Yea, they have chosen their own ways, and their soul delight in their abominations. I will also choose their delusions and bring their fears upon them. Because when I called, none did answer, and when I spake, they did not hear. But they did evil before my eyes, and chose that in which I delighted not. The Hebrew word for delusion is tela'ul. Tau, ayin, lamad, lamad, and mean. It means wantonness, caprice, vexation. Caprice in English. Because you know the only Caprice I know is a Chevy Caprice. You know about a Chevy Caprice? You don't know about a Chevy Caprice. Caprice by definition is a sudden and unaccountable change of mood or behavior. So when he sends you a strong delusion, he finna send you something to where your behavior just changes out of nowhere. A sudden, unpredictable change of one's mind or weather. Now, a capricious person is someone who is impulsive or unpredictable. Synonyms for caprice are crochet, vagary, and whim. Also, someone who is irrational and unpredictable. So scripturally, how would you look at that if he sends you a strong delusion? That means this is somebody that out of nowhere, it's just going to seem like the whole thought process changes out of nowhere, and you wondering, how could they act like this? And I'm going to tell you, some of y'all done seen some people do this, and you just didn't know that that's what was happening. Where you observed them and like, dang, they acted like this, and then it seemed like, oh, now they on this type of time out of nowhere. Oh, he gave them over to a delusion. He sent them a delusion. And when I say it's unpredictable, meaning sometimes you can see people like a gradual step, like this person about to go over the edge. But then you see some people like, boy, they was worshiping with me on Wednesday, and 60 days later, this nigga is a witch. You know what I'm saying? Or they doing this or they doing that. That's what a delusion looks. I use witch because that's the only thing I come up with. You know what I'm saying? It could have been a homicide or murder, you know, whatever the case may be. But it's like, dang, I don't know who this person is no more type of deal. That's what he means when he says you're a strong delusion. Come over here to Proverbs 1 and we'll end it with that. Well, that's what he said, because they didn't have a love for the truth. That's what he said in Thessalonians, because they didn't have a love for the truth. And when he called, they didn't answer. And when he spake, they didn't hear, but chose to do what they wanted to do. Then he'll just go ahead and give you a mind to do whatever. You know what I'm saying? And to accept that whatever it is that you want to do is just. It's a very dangerous place to be, to say the least. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 20. Wisdom cried without. She uttered her voice in the streets. She cried in the chief place of the concourse. In the openings of the gates in the city, she uttered her words. How long you simple ones will love you simplicity, and scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour my ruach upon you and make my words known unto you. Because I have called and you refused. I stretched out my hand and no man regarded. But you said it not all my counsel, and you would have none of my reproof. I will also laugh at your calamity, and I will mock when your fear comes. And when your fear come as a desolation and your destruction come as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you, then you shall call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of Yahuwah. They would none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. Therefore they shall eat the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. So when he sends you a delusion that you should believe a lie, it's because he had already called for you. And you said, nah, I'm good. Or he came to correct you and you said, nah, I'm good. So now he's going to give you a sudden change of behavior, which in reality, that change of mind is not really that drastic to the individual, but it's drastic to those who are watching. Because you didn't really know that person might have been on that. But they pretty much had been on that, though. Meaning, when I'm talking about on that, meaning not having an understanding heart, like we read that Solomon asked for. You didn't have a heart to want to hear so you could obey. Because each time he said, I sent them a strong delusion because they did not receive a love for the truth. Isaiah 66, he said, I sent you this delusion because when I spake, you didn't answer, but you chose your abominations and chose to do what you wanted to do. This one here, he said, hey, if you turn in my correction, I pour my spirit on you, make my words known, and you like, nah, I refuse. So he going to give you another mind. And it's going to seem like it's coming out of nowhere. Because remember, that's what capricious is. That's what he's going to do. Say if a person chooses Sunday worship when they know the Sabbath is the day, is that a delusion? Not necessarily. It could be, but not necessarily, because that's not a rapid change of mind, Emma, if they already believe Sunday was a day of work. Because I know a brother right now who at a Sunday church, and he a pastor there, and he runs Sabbath service also. So some people just like, I'm going to church on Sunday. Because I ain't going to lie to you, going to church on Sunday is not an issue. It's the issue when you uphold it to be the sanctified day over the sanctified day. Because are you sinning if you necessarily went into a church on Sunday? I would say no. But if their doctrine is trash, why are you there? You know what I'm saying? And when I say their doctrine is trash, I'm talking about explicitly and specifically, like what we read in John. Are they teaching you about the Father and the Son? You know what I'm saying? Because the aspects about the law and all that there, because you got some bruise. Okay, you teaching about the law, but your doctrine is trash. So, y'all in the same running when they come to that. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't really tripping on that part. You know what I'm talking about? But not necessarily, because remember, it's to cause one to go astray, Emma. So they would have to had already been consistently keeping the Sabbath and then abandon the Sabbath and say, I'm going to do Sunday worship. If they were always doing Sunday worship and they say they know that the Sabbath is on the seventh day, but they choose to continue to do Sunday worship, I wouldn't say that would be strange, because they never really got on it consistently to say they're turning from that. You know what I'm saying? Because if they were always doing Sunday worship and then they continue to do so, then they're really not doing anything different. than what they had already been doing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not one of them people who gonna harp on somebody because look at, man, you could have church every day. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just the Sabbath is a commanded convocation where everyone attendance is required. You know what I'm saying? Where you have to cease and desist from your labors to focus on Yahuwah. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you could have, man, it said that in the text in Acts that the apostles gathered on the first day of the week and broke bread all the time. You know, that's the Israelite thing to think, oh, you can only come together on the seventh day. Man, you can come together on the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. You know what I'm saying? It'll make no difference. You could gather twice a day if you want to. Every day. You think the Lord gonna put a prohibition on how much words you can get? At the state that we in, shoot, if we could, we should have service 3 times a day, every day, dumb as some of these niggas is. And I ain't saying that to be disparaging. I'm saying that is we don't know the word like we supposed to know the word to be talking like how we be talking. Meaning you don't even know your God. The first thing that we started with, you don't even know your God. You don't even know what he delight in. How you gonna serve? But we'll stop right there, man. We had 3 hours, man. Hallelujah for y'all who shot in the word. But this is what we're gonna do. You can take your time. I always thought Sunday was the first day. Yes, that is correct. Sunday is the first day of the week. You know, the names of the days of the week correlate to certain deities. Some of y'all can remind me because I can't remember. Obviously, the Sunday is the worship of the sun. Monday is the worship of the moon. The God for Tuesday escapes me. Wednesday is for Woden. Thursday is for Thor. Friday is for Frida. Saturday is for Saturn. That's right, Nordic God. If somebody could tell me the God for Tuesday, I appreciate it because I can't remember. Oh, is it Mars? Might be Sue. Could be. I can't remember Sue. I don't know Sue. Probably right. Yeah, but I know Saturday is for Saturn, and Friday is for Frida. Tyre. He say Tuesday is for Tyre. Tyr. But the months of the year are for deities. All of them are. Some of them represent the number because December represents the number. Same with September and October and November. You know what I'm saying? But July is for Julius Caesar. August is for Augustus Caesar. January is for Janus. And I forget February, March, and April. And May for that matter. Peace, brother Omar. But that's a Roman thing because you're dealing with a Gregorian Roman calendar. But the Hebrews had names for months. Obviously, you know that. But the days of the week, it was simply day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, I don't think all 12 months by name in Hebrew were listed in the text. Most of the months that are used for Hebrews came after they came out of the Babylonian captivity, and they're Babylonian names. Like the first month of the year is called Abib, but you can see it called Nisan, and Nisan is Babylonian. Because a lot of things they did in Babylon, a lot of them brought them customs and kept doing them when they came back in the land. So one of the things that you could see post-exile in the quote-unquote Second Temple era is a lot of Israelites mixing Babylonian customs with customs that they had before they went in captivity. Emily, correct me if I'm wrong. Ain't that when the doggone Talmud and all that stuff went to popping off when they came out of Babylon? My memory may not be serving me correctly. But nevertheless, hallelujah for Yahushua and the word. I appreciate y'all time this afternoon. I bless y'all the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. Peace, Sister Regina. Amen. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to look at individuals who he sent a strong delusion to. Remember, strong delusion is a mental strain, a sudden change of mind. So, you can take your time to research some of these things for yourself. And we can rock those out like that. But that's how we go. Because the key thing that we rocking with is the proper rectitude. which is the proper way of thinking. To be able to execute just judgment, which is very, very important. Because a lot of people don't know how to do that. Peace 10K, man. So I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Y'all willing. To the next time. Y'all are here.